able to hear me. Hey there. Hi, hi. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I did a little messing around with my audio and such. Hey, hey. Hey, Unumaki, I saw you in here early. Hello over on YouTube to Agnostic and to Boogie and to Crovis. Been a minute since YouTube done. Well, we are glad to have you here. We are just getting started. I got some new channel art. I got it as just a vector, but I recolored it to go with this background. So I've got this adorable little robot goat. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just so we can admire it. It was made by my friend, who is a lovely artist. I just wanted to make sure that there was zero AI involved in its creation, so isn't it so cute? Look at it! It's the robot goat. It's got a little plug in its I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna shrink it back down now, but just a moment to appreciate this art. Absolutely stunning. I'm gonna leave it right there in the corner so that others can appreciate it. Isn't it so cute? I mean, I feel like it needs another name besides just like the robot goat, right? We'll think on it. Maybe we'll do a vote in the Discord server. Was I converted to robo-goatism? You know, just string some syllables together that vaguely sound like the ones in Robot Goat, and that's my religion now. Go rowboat, got boat, robo. It's, you know, I chose this name because, well, it was based off a nightmare I had when I was a kid, but like, I keep using it because I'm like, oh, it's so easy. Everyone will know what it is. Yeah, and then fucking Joel and Mezzo. And Joel and Mezzo come along. And don't even try to pronounce it. You know, it's alright. Name him Jezzo. No, this is my unique branding. I'm keeping this to myself. Marceline, I'm gonna try to do it solo tonight. I appreciate your request. We've got some people in chat, but we don't have anyone requesting up to try to convert me to their religion. Interesting. Some people telling me that they're gonna plant the seed. I would appreciate if no one planted their seed in me. I'm not into that shit. Well done on the graphics. Thank you. I didn't really make them myself. So this was done by my artist friend. They're art.bees on TikTok. Wonderful, wonderful artist. And I absolutely love the little robot go that they made for me. And then the rest of the graphics are from Tidio Liddy on Etsy. I don't know if that's actually how it's supposed to be pronounced, but that is how it's spelled. And I just thought it was so cute. So that's what we've got going on. So I've got my little buddy, the yet-to-be-named robot goat. I absolutely love it. That is not my cat says, I'm a dumb atheist. I can convert you to dumb atheism. We don't read no books. Sounds fun. Do you guys have potlucks? Oh, Inumaki's wondering the pronouns of the robot goat. I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if this goat uses neo-pronouns. Robbie the robot goat. I cannot do that, I'm afraid. Because there's someone in my life that is named Robbie, and that would just be bizarre. Don't trust potlucks, we go to Golden Corral. Listen, I can fuck up some meatloaf at Golden Corral. I really can. Tibsy, that's cute. Okay, I like that one. Jeffy, okay. We're getting some suggestions in here. I'll take all of these in. I will try to remember them. And maybe we'll do a poll later at the end of the stream. I don't know. Romans 120 truth. That's just Pascal's wager. Imagine if you're wrong, and some other religion is correct, and you've been worshiping the wrong god, and you're gonna piss off the god of the real religion. Uh-oh. That's why Pascal's wager just doesn't work. I see a lot of people in here talking about their religion, but I don't see a lot of people requesting up to talk about their religion. It's interesting. It's just me and my little robot goat buddy. What do I need to know to convert? Well, I'd like to be told things that are true. So if you could tell me something that was true, might help. Yeah, Boogie, atheismo might be the real god. You never know. So if you already don't think it's true, then what's the point? Well, that's the whole point of it being convert. If I already believed in the religion, then I wouldn't be converting to the religion. So the point is to see if people can convert me to their religion. Jesus lived, is that true? Asks someone. I am kind of the point where I could go either way on whether or not Jesus existed as a historical being, but I definitely don't think he was divine. You need to be lifted up on eagle's wings while Josh Groban sings. I do like Josh Groban's vocals. I don't think he was a good choice for Sweeney Todd. I don't know. He seems too young and sweet to me to be Sweeney Todd, I guess. Anyway. What do I think happens when I die? Nothing that I'll be able to perceive. I think it'll be just like before I was born. Do I think Plato existed? Again, could go either way. I think there is okay evidence that he might have been a real person. There's also okay evidence that he might have not been. But no one's telling me that I'm going to burn for all eternity if I deny that Plato existed. So it's a little bit different as far as the perceived consequences. Hey there, what's up?
Hey, not much, and you?
Just doing a stream. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yeah, you could call me Galore, age 25, pronouns he, him.
All right, Galore, what religion are you going to try to convert me to?
Any religion, like as far as God in general.
Any religion. Okay, so I will go for an atheistic religion then.
I take it back. What about Christianity?
Okay. Go ahead
All
and see if you can do it.
Now, before anybody in the comments like screams Pascal's wager, this is not Pascal's wager. This is just a hypothetical. Now, let's say that we were walking up to this house, right? And I was telling you that there might be a dog inside of this house that might bite you. But if you I have this cookie, like I have two of them. This is his favorite cookie. If you give him this cookie, he won't bite you. But I'm not 100% sure if he's in there. He might be in there, but it's better to be safe rather than sorry, right? So would you take the cookie?
Well, here's the problem. I believe in dogs. So let's use a different creature. I'll just come up with a random one, a unicorn. And let's say that I'm trying to tell you that there's a unicorn in this house. But if you give a donut to this unicorn, then the unicorn's gonna like you instead of trying to attack you. Are you gonna believe me when I say there's a unicorn in the house?
Wait, stay to the dog. Like, don't think about Pascal's wager. Don't think about unicorns.
But I believe the dogs exist. I have good
Well,
evidence to believe that dogs exist.
I do too. And I agree with you. Dogs do exist.
See, the thing is, I've heard you run this exact argument with my friend. That's why I'm using the unicorn example, because I know you've done this exact argument, and they use the exact counter of the unicorn.
So, but this is a good argument, though.
It's really not, because dogs, I've met those, plenty of them. I worked in a dog daycare for a while, seen many, 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 many dogs. Never seen any evidence of the existence of a god.
Now, all right. I guess before I drop, you do got a good point. Before I drop, I just got one last question. When no ECP comment says Pascal's wager, this is just a hypothetical. It's not
It
about
is.
Pascal's wager.
It is Pascal's wager in a different form. Because the
Well,
heart of Pascal's wager is like, isn't it better to believe and be wrong than not believe and be wrong?
this is just a hypothetical.
Right, but the hypothetical that you're presenting is identical to the dilemma within Pascal's wager.
Well, anyway, I guess before I drop, let's just say, God forbid, you're 100 years old and you're on your
Yeah, I do
deathbed.
not want to live that long. Fuck.
Oh well, how old do you want to be?
I don't know, 40?
What?
That seems like a good run.
40 years old? That's like a baby. Well, almost a baby. I don't know.
Aren't you 25?
Well, mentally, I'm actually a lot older. I feel like I've already been on Earth before, and I feel like I was put here to spread my wisdom.
All
Like
right, we
I'm
don't have
not
time to
like.
unpack all that. What were you gonna say?
Well, yeah. Anyway, so like, God forbid, you're in your older ages and you're on your deathbed, and like, do you want to take a shot at a religion, or are you gonna go in and say, nah, this is all you guys are fake. There is no God. There is no afterlife. Forget all that. Or would you take a shot on one religion, and what religion would it be?
I would take a shot of vodka because I'm gonna turn up before I.
So you take a shot of vodka.
Yeah,
That would be.
maybe two.
Uh,
Tito's? Fuck yeah, man.
that sounds like a good way to go. To be honest, I never thought about that. Like before I die, I would definitely take a shot. A couple, maybe.
Well, I'm glad that I've been able to help you with that tonight.
Well, I was. I mean, did I convince you at all? Like as far
No,
as.
again, I heard you had this exact same argument with my friend.
But it's a good argument, though. I won.
It's
I
really
beat him the last
not.
time. I beat your friend.
No, you did not.
There was people in the comment section saying that I converted them.
There's a reason he
After
posted the clip. People don't
what?
post clips of debates
What?
that they lose.
He posted me on this. What? He posted me?
Yeah, man.
Where at? What's his username? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was Mezzo on YouTube.
He posted me like on his story or on his like one of his posts.
That's like a video, man. He posted the whole when he gave you the unicorn and the donuts thing.
Oh my god, that's embarrassing. That's gonna go on
Why?
my career.
Why is it embarrassing if you beat him?
Why did he post me? All right, let me go to Mezzo's profile, and you said that it's like in his post, like when I click on his profile.
It should be, yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, all right. I'll probably drop, and I want to check that out because I don't know exactly what I said or remember. Let me go see.
All right, have fun with that. Well, okay. That was interesting. Hello there.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's going all right. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yes, I'm Smigo, 26. I'm a man, so he, I guess.
Gotcha.
What's your name?
I'm T, aka Robot Goat. I use they, them.
All right, nice to meet you, robotgoat. So, for me, I kind of want to have the conversation. I want to argue because I know I might not be able to transition you into whatever, but I have some questions so I can understand where you stand with things. For example, do you believe that there is a divine creator, something bigger than us,
Not
that
convinced,
created
no.
us? Not convinced? Okay. So where do you think everything came from? Whatever you think is the beginning. Like,
I don't think
first
there was an
humans.
absolute beginning to the universe. I think that it was eternal.
So you think people were here just in the beginning? Boom.
Not
were there.
people, no, but I think the
Okay.
universe is eternal. I think that life arose from non-living matter.
So you think you can get life from nothing?
It's called abiogenesis, yes.
So what you're telling me is, let's talk about animals, okay? Where do you think humans, or you and I, evolved from or came from?
A population of roughly 55,000 of, I think, Homo habilis.
Okay, what about them?
We have like Homo neanderthalis, we have Homo erectus, Australopithecus afarensis, all the way back through a line of hominids, all the way back through lines of vertebrates, all the way back through complex multicellular organisms, all the way back to a single simple ancestor.
Ancestors. So for me, what I believe is that for you to have anything, any type of creation, they need to have some type of intelligence behind it. You are able to create something because you have a brain, you have something,
I don't think that
a
this was
creator
created
mind.
though.
So you don't think nothing was created? Trees were not created.
Well, because
Water was not created.
yeah, using the term created implies that there is a mind behind it. It's kind of begging the question, assuming there is a creator. I don't necessarily think that there was. I think that those things arose from natural processes.
Okay, so let me switch it up real quick. Let's talk about bad and goodness. When someone does, let's say I walk up to you and I smack you across the face. Is that bad or good?
It's kinky.
For you, that's kinky. Okay, what about I shoot you
Okay,
and you
it's
die?
a different type of kinky. So I would say, in my subjective moral opinion, that's bad.
That's bad. Okay, so why is it? Would that be bad for everybody, or would you be like, okay, to me it's bad, but to you, if it's good, it's good? Or is there
Yeah,
something
so
that we compare good and bad to?
so I don't think that good and bad exist as transcendental categories. I think good and bad are labels that we apply to behaviors that we think people ought do or ought not do. Um, so with something like unaliving other people, it comes down to being logically consistent. If you think that you have a right to not be unalived, then you should hold that everyone else has a right to not be unalived. So you should not do to them. It's basically, it comes down to golden rule, but it's a form of logical consistency. Treat other people the way that you want to be treated. If you wouldn't want someone to do that to you, then you shouldn't do it to them.
So what you're saying is, okay, where do you get that logic? Where do you get that
Yeah,
of
again,
with that moral of how to treat people good?
yeah, so morals are just you're out of the app, so we can't hear you if you talk.
I'm here.
Morals are just standards for how agents should interact with each other, right? So moral agents, it's just a set of standards that dictates whether we ought or ought not do certain things. So if we
Where do we get
maintain,
those standards? I guess that's the
well,
question.
that's what I'm explaining. So those standards
Go
in
ahead.
this case would come from logical consistency. So if we, as a moral agent, want to achieve any of our goals, there's a couple things that are necessary for us to maintain, which would be our life and our well-being. If we are not alive, if we don't have our well-being, then we cannot achieve any of our goals. That means that those are necessary for us as moral agents, and they ought not be infringed upon by other agents. If we hold that standard to be true for ourselves, to be logically consistent, we must hold it for all moral agents. So if I am to say I am a moral agent, therefore I have this intrinsic right to life and to well-being that ought not be infringed upon by others, then I should hold, to be logically consistent, that all other moral agents also deserve those same rights that not be infringed on.
So who detects? I guess who says what's? Let's say, because some people believe you can marry someone who's 16. Some other people believe that is not right. Right? What determines if someone is okay with being married to someone who's 16 and someone who's not being able to marry at someone 16? Is that depending on where you're from, or is that someone is that something that's divinely into someone?
Yeah, I do want to say it's interesting because you're really probing into like what I think moral standards ought to be, which is not super related to like trying to convert me to any particular religion. If you're trying to convert me to your religion, shouldn't you be showing how your religion handles these issues rather than trying to figure out how I currently handle those issues?
From
Because
For me,
even if you get to the point where you're pointing out like some sort of like flaw in my reasoning or some like blind spot, that's still not going to get me to converting to your religion.
So I guess for me, so here's what I believe. I believe you may be able to go to heaven without being into a specific religion. For me, so I could say I'm a Christian, but I'll also say I'm an Orthodox Christian because I believe Jesus was not here to preach a specific religion onto someone, but to kind of take everybody to teach them how they should live this life and what they should be living in order to pretty much get to heaven after death. But you said that you don't. So that's why they want to go into heaven and hell if you said that you don't care about what happens after you die and stuff. So that's why I was trying to start with the minimal things. And then if we come to an agreement with those, then we can go into my religion. But I don't really like to, I don't like to preach religion without having that type of understanding that there is a higher power above us that we could ask for things and also look onto for hope.
Yeah, but
for faith.
none of what you've said so far has been any sort of like evidence to convince me of a higher power or of an afterlife. You've just been trying
For
to
me, the
examine
fact.
my personal moral framework.
Okay, so let me try and explain my point of view. For me to be that I'm here, there's a lot of odds. There's a lot of, you could say, coincidences for me to be alive and for me to be able to live in this world, see birds, see different type of animals that I cannot understand. I cannot create this thing, but you're here, I'm here. So there have to be something that designed us. There have to be a greater power that put us here that we cannot
No.
understand. Just,
Why?
I mean, why?
Why would that mean that there
Because
has to be a creator?
because something needs to be created. You can't just
That's begging the question.
non-life can non-life can come from life can come from non-life. That's what I believe, and you believe that it's possible.
Yeah,
So
there's
I guess
solid evidence for abiogenesis.
yeah, but even that, so science itself is proving that God exists. So anything you can prove in science, it's all there because God itself, God is
That's just a claim.
omnipotent and omnipresent. You say it's a claim, but try to understand. You cannot understand God with our own mind.
Well,
Sorry, I was
the
saying
problem
He
is again
created
you're
us
presupposing things. You're just saying, "Oh, well, we can only understand these things because of God." What makes you say that? What's the evidence for that? Why should I believe that?
Why should you believe what that God exists?
No, that we can only know things through science because of God.
Because God is everything, everything. There's no science without God. There's
Okay,
no
that you
astrology
just
without.
repeated the thing again because I'm asking you how you can assert that we can only know things in science because of God, and your response was because we can only know things in science because of God. That doesn't
Okay,
answer my question.
because God created everything.
But I don't believe that there is a God. I don't have a belief in God.
Just because you don't believe does not mean it was not created. You are created here. Even if you don't
Right, give me
believe
the
you're a woman,
evidence that it was created, that there is a God. So far, your only evidence that there is a God is because there must be a God, and that's not evidence. That's just circular reasoning.
it's not circular reasoning at all. Because if you're here, if you're talking, you're alive, it means you were born. Something happened for you to be here,
Okay, it doesn't
right?
require a God. It required my parents getting it on.
Okay, where do your parents come from? So the deeper you go, the more you realize there's something higher than your parents for them to be here. Because your parents did not just boom make themselves. So there have to be something making
Yeah,
your parents
no,
or
they're not. Does not.
creating.
It's not creating. Again, I told you how all life on Earth would go back to a simple single-celled ancestor, which the
No,
leading
that
theory for how that arose is via abiogenesis, and we have solid evidence for abiogenesis.
I do not agree that all creations came from whatever you mentioned.
Okay,
And
can
also,
you?
like I said, I don't think we're going to come to an
Okay,
agreement. But I just wanted to
if
have
you're
that
going to
conversation.
deny the possibility of abiogenesis, can you tell me what you refute about the Miller-Urey experiment?
I, so to be honest with you, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So
that
that's why I'm
yeah,
not
that makes
going to
sense.
be deep diving into something I don't know. But what you're talking about, it just sounds like. I mean, I'm down to do some research on it, but I'm pretty sure that whatever you're talking about is not God and is under God. Even if it's true, definitely God is above all, and I hope that He reveals Himself to you, whether you want it or not, and that might change how you think. But I'm glad we got to talk, and yeah, I wish you a wonderful day.
Well, I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Please do some looking into abiogenesis. Really break down the fact that so far your evidence for God has been, well, there must be a God.
That was not the only evidence. You are an evidence
Didn't
that
give
God
any
existed.
evidence. No, I'm
I'm
an
an
evidence
I'm
that
an
my parents
evidence.
got drunk after a football game. Have a good evening. It's interesting how much I end up sharing the story of my conception on stream. Anyway. Hello there.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing alright. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Uh, my name is Ryan. I'm 28 and I go by he, him.
Wonderful. What religion are you going to convert me to, Ryan?
Well, I'm a Catholic and I'm not looking to convert you to Catholicism over the course of a chat. But I very much was in the atheist agnostic sphere for a long time. And there's a bit of a sort of logical argument that I wanted to bring up. Um, do you believe that having faith in a higher power requires as much faith as being an atheist?
Atheism doesn't require any faith. It is a lack of a belief.
But you are making an assertion that you know something isn't true.
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
So, are you saying that you have enough knowledge of all the possible potentialities that exist in the universe to say that you know that this one thing doesn't exist?
No. So atheism is just lacking a belief in God or gods. I lack
But
a
it is a
belief.
belief in itself, is it not?
No. It is a lack of belief. Would you say that not playing soccer is a sport?
Those are two completely different things.
Not believing in God is not a belief. It is a lack of. Not collecting stamps is not a hobby. Not playing soccer is not a sport.
Okay, but I'm saying, do you think that you have the same enough knowledge to make the assertion that that thing isn't true?
Again, I am not stating that there is definitively no God. I'm saying I lack a belief in God or any particular gods. If
So are you
evidence
an
was
agnostic?
presented of me, I'm an agnostic atheist.
Well, you
Agnostic,
can't be both.
well, agnostic or gnostic refers to knowledge. Theist or atheist refers to belief. They're two separate categories. So I'm an agnostic atheist. So I'm not claiming to have all possible knowledge to determine whether or not there is a God, but I lack a belief in any particular God.
So you can't be an agnostic and an atheist at the same time.
Yes, you can. Because again, Gnostic and agnostic refers to knowledge. Theism and atheism refers to belief.
So an agnostic is someone who doesn't claim either way to know the truth about a God, right?
No.
But an atheist is someone who will say that there is no God.
Also no.
I'm sorry, but I think you don't know the definitions of those words because that's just completely incorrect.
So what is the root of agnostic and Gnostic?
I'm not going to get into root words. I'm talking about common
Yeah, it
vernacular
refers
and
to
how people use those
knowledge.
words.
It refers to
Okay,
knowledge.
you're being very.
So it's whether or not we believe we can have knowledge, or that we do have knowledge of a god. Theism and atheism is just whether or not you believe in a god or gods. So if you lack a belief in any god, you would be an atheist. If you don't claim to have all the knowledge of whether or not there is or is not a god, you would be agnostic.
And which one of those are you claiming? That you
I am
completely
both.
have no belief, or
No,
that you don't know that you know enough?
As far I'm not claiming to have all the knowledge of whether or not there is or is not a god, but I lack a belief in any particular god.
I'm not sure if you're understanding what I'm trying to say here.
I understand what you're trying to say, but you have incorrect ideas of what agnostic and atheist mean, and I'm really trying to explain it to you here. So I am not definitively
I
saying
was in that
there
space. You're not
is
explaining
no
anything
god.
to me that I don't understand.
Okay, well
Okay.
then why aren't you understanding it when I'm explaining it then? Because you've
I think you're
repeatedly
trying to be,
used the wrong definition.
I haven't said any definition at all, actually.
No, you've said that atheist means I'm definitively claiming there is no God, and that
You are taking
agnostic
a
means that
stance.
I'm not, that I don't know either way if there is or is not a God.
The absence of a positive opinion on God
A
is
positive
a yes or a no
opinion?
thing. I'm saying yes or no. If you say yes, you're saying not saying no. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm gonna use this analogy again. Is it a hobby to not collect stamps?
That is a hobby, not a philosophical position.
It is a
You are
hobby.
being
No, it
completely,
is a hobby to not collect stamps.
You are literally comparing apples to oranges right
A
now. and that
lack,
is so
a lack of a
ridiculous.
hobby is a hobby.
Once again, we're not talking about hobbies. That is so philosophically
It's an
insincere.
analogy, Ryan. Why
No,
are you
but
not able to
it's
comprehend what an analogy is?
because I'm
It's a
trying to
thought
talk
with another
the-
thought's hat on.
Oh my lord, heaven help me. You're relaying things that we're not talking about. I'm not talking about stamp collecting. I'm talking
It's
about a
an
philosophical
analogy.
position.
It's an analogy, Ryan.
I understand this.
I'm using the
okay?
hobby analogy to talk about belief. So
Well,
if not having
No,
a
but this is where
hobby
you're philosophically
isn't a
probably not
hobby,
that
then
intelligent.
not having a belief isn't a belief.
Just because an analogy can be used to try to explain something, it doesn't mean it should, okay?
Yeah, because it makes your argument a lot harder, and you don't appreciate that. But I'm not going to cater
No, I'm saying
to your ease of
You're
debate.
still not addressing my even original question. You're out here the one saying that you are an atheist, that
Yeah.
you are the right.
And I
I'm
defined it
saying-
very clearly.
Do you think that you have a 100% faith assertion that you are correct in what you don't believe?
No, because I lack faith, and I'm not asserting the non-existence of God.
Then you are not an atheist.
For the upteenth time, atheist just means lacking a belief in any particular God. It does not mean definitively claiming there is no God.
Okay. So you lack a belief, but you have an option that it could be possible.
Sure, if evidence is shown to
Is
me.
is that not a belief in itself?
No, it's a lack of belief.
No, but you just said that you believe it could be a possibility.
I mean, again, if evidence is shown to me, then maybe I would have a belief. I don't have a belief that evidence will be shown to me.
Well, what's your standard of evidence for?
I prefer
such a-
empiricism. I'll accept argumentation if it's valid and sound.
Right. Okay. What's your best argument against it?
I'm not trying to claim the non-existence of God.
No, yeah, of course, but like I guess from if you were to take that position to as a
So you want me to argue a position I
Thought
don't
experiment.
hold?
yeah as a I guess as an analogy. Give me your analogy for
It's not really an
Well, you don't know what
analogy.
it is.
That's just a straw man.
No, I'm just saying, play with it. Play with a position that you don't own. It's called, being able to think outside the box.
Okay. I prefer doing my thinking inside of boxes. It's nice and warm and wet in there. I guess if I were going to present evidence against the existence of God, I would specify evidence against the Christian God, because that is one that I have more definitive evidence for the non-existence of that God, and that would be the contradictory nature of a triomni God.
You mean the Trinity?
No, triomni. All-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving.
Oh, okay, right. So what about that in particular do you not find convincing?
In order to be all-powerful, you would have to have the power to not be good. So by saying that God is omnibenevolent, you are limiting it from omnipotence.
Well, I think there's always that sort of problem with free will. There's a lot of the
Well, it's not about free will. I'm talking about God himself would have to have the power to not be good. Otherwise,
Right.
he wouldn't actually be omnipotent.
I get what you mean. Do you have any examples of them not being all good?
No, I'm saying that Christians claim he is all good, but also claim he is all powerful. For him to be all powerful, he would have to have the power to not be good. Otherwise, there is a power he does not have, so he cannot be all powerful.
Well, I guess it's probably a point of whether they choose to exercise that or not.
So do you think God has the ability to not be good?
Absolutely, but I think that the emphasis on being all good prevents all loving God from.
So is there any
the-
universe in which he could exercise that power?
If they so choose it, yeah.
So then he wouldn't be omnibenevolent.
But they don't.
If there is no universe in which that power can be exercised, they functionally don't have that
I'm
power.
not saying that there's not. I'm not saying that there's not.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying that they choose not to.
I
It's a
just
choice
asked
thing.
you, and you said that there wouldn't be.
No, I
Or
said
did you say that
it
there?
was
You said that there
possible.
would. In
Yeah.
which case, wouldn't be all good.
Well,
If there
all
is a
good
universe where they,
implies
if there's a
restriction on
universe
them
where they
doing
exercise
things.
that power, well then in that universe they would not be all good.
Are we talking about this universe, or are we talking about?
Like
Something
any
else, we're talking
potential
about-
universe.
Yes, but I don't see them exercising that all. God has free will.
Okay,
as
well you have
much
to
as-
decide
as
whether or
us.
not he can exercise it, because I've asked you in any
I'm
possible
saying
universe.
he can, but chooses not to.
Is there any universe where he would?
I'm sorry. What are you talking about? Universes that he would? What are you trying to say?
Any potential any potential state of this universe, any potential timeline, any potential situation.
To exercise something that isn't good?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you've got Book of Revelations, and that talks about the final judgment.
So
and
you
that's
don't think that's
obviously,
good?
In terms of what? Like, are you talking about, God?
We're talking about whether or not God has the potential to not be all good.
No, I'm saying all good isn't the same thing as being able to exercise.
If there is literally
all power.
no potential situation in which you would possibly exercise a given power, you functionally lack that power.
Say that again, sorry?
If there is no potential situation and the literally infinite number of possibilities that you would ever get to exercise a power, you functionally don't have that power. If I say I have
No,
the
but
power
it's
to fly, but there's
you
no
have
potential
to-
situation in existence in which I can use it, I don't have the power to fly.
Do you have the power to murder someone?
Yeah.
Will you do that?
I don't know. Haven't lived all my life yet.
Is there any situation where any universe where you would see yourself doing that?
Can a bitch have fun on a Wednesday night?
Okay, that's just crass, and I'd like you to be a bit more sincere with your answer.
I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Can't a cunt have fun on a Wednesday night?
Okay. Look, I get where you're coming from. I do.
Okay.
I was in the same position. All right. And, well, it's a lot of fun to try to use all these little arguments that you have and be very crass in your language and all that kind of thing.
You're a big boy. I don't
You
think you
need-
need to be hurt by me saying bitch and cunt.
Oh, I'm Australian. Don't worry. I hear it all the time. But you need to sort of realize that what you think you know is nothing next to what you don't know.
Okay.
Could you accept at least that the best position is to not just not have a belief, but instead to be open-minded and neutral, and instead of trying to shoot things down, be rigorous in your research about it without casting any judgments before
Being
you're
rigorous
aware
in
of
my
more
research
knowledge.
is the way I've been able to shoot down all of your arguments because I've heard all of them before. It's because I've taken the time
No,
to
you
really
haven't.
think through
You-
this.
You haven't. See, this is the ignorance. Like, you think you know everything.
I've heard all of your arguments before, yes. I've done hundreds of hours
Okay.
of streaming, hundreds of hours of talking to people with your same arguments. I have heard them all before.
Which arguments?
Redefining agnostic and atheist to try to make it say that atheism is directly claiming that there is no God and therefore saying that atheism requires more faith than being a Christian.
No, I'm saying it
The
requires an
idea
equal
that
amount of
oh,
faith
the
to not
amount
have a
that
belief.
the amount that you know is tiny compared to the amount that you don't know because there's like an infinite possible amount of information and you only know a small finite part of it. Yeah, I've heard that argument before as well. It's just not a reasonable argument.
I see. This is the thing. It seems like you're Dunning-Krugering this. Like you are so ignorant.
I
of
am
what you think you
Dunning-Krugering
know.
this.
Look, I've been there. I've known all of your arguments. Okay.
You couldn't define
them
atheist and
myself.
agnostic correctly, Ryan.
Look, the lack of belief in itself requires faith.
No. That's just contradictory. A lack of belief is not a belief. A lack of faith is not a faith.
Well, I just think it's very disingenuous the way you're sort of talking about this, because a lot of people have a very different view of what atheist means, and then you're trying to go, oh, what's the root word for it? Atheist, blah blah blah. It's disingenuous.
Well, yeah, because
At
that's how we get
least.
the meanings of words. Typically, we would see like where they derive from, what the root word would be. So Gnostic and agnostic would be around knowledge,
Mm.
not necessarily like belief. So
Well, I think on my original point was to say that when you take not having a position, you are taking a position, right? And that requires a yes or a no sort of answer.
So it is a position to not have a position.
Well, you hear these people all the time saying non-political is not an option, right?
I would say that's not analogous. I would say the symmetry breaker there is that you are part of like a larger voting body. So your like lack of decision making affects the percentages in the polls. Whereas when you're talking about like personal belief, it's really only going to affect you. So lacking a position would only affect yourself, not like a larger population.
So why is that not a good analogy, but stamp collecting is.
Yeah, because I was showing how a lack of a thing is not the same thing as the thing itself. So a lack of collecting stamps, which is a hobby, is not considered a hobby.
I'm not talking about that argument again. I'm saying, why is that analogy
Yeah,
better than
what's the
saying
symmetry breaker?
not taking an opinion on a political issue?
What's the symmetry
When
breaker
other
in that
people
analogy?
say no, you need to have an opinion.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, so Ryan, I have just received a Cash App to kick you, so I am gonna go ahead and let you go. Goodbye. Thank you to Crovis. I recognize that profile picture, so I know that's you. For sending in 25 on Cash App to kick. It's 5 to kick, but I appreciate it. That was an interesting conversation. I love when people try to like define my beliefs for me. So that was interesting. Hey there, Vampire Cause. Welcome in. You got really annoyed by him? I think that's fully valid. I think that's so valid. I was kind of like, okay, how long is this gonna... Are we gonna... So I think you've saved everyone here a little bit. Listen, I'm gonna retell a joke that I told earlier in the Discord because I don't think it got enough recognition. So, we had 2 people with crow-themed usernames chatting back and forth in my Discord server, in the general chat. And I said that the conversation was an attempted murder. Because they're crows. And a group of crows is called a murder. I appreciate the pity laughs. Look, I thought it was clever, right? We don't currently have anyone who is requesting up. How are we doing in chat tonight? If you weren't here at the beginning, I have this adorable little art now. Look at this! This is drawn by my friend, who, I believe their username is art.bees on TikTok. They did this adorable little robot goat for me. They just did the line art. I filled it in to match the background, but I can customize it to make it whatever colors I want. I think it's adorable. I love it. Mwah. It's got a little cord in its mouth and a little leg. I think it's just the darn cutest thing. We will come up with a name for it. For them. I don't want to say it. So. Oh, someone's angrily commenting on one of my YouTube videos right now. Love that for them. What about robotgoat? That's just something that Joel and Mezzo probably called me at some point. Good listening while you're driving. You're jealous of my conversational tenacity. Conversational tenacity is a rad fucking phrase. Holy shit. Love that. Ooh, my hair routine? Look, I'm like several days out from wash day. Alright? Several days out. I use Aveda Cherry Blossom like color protectant shampoo. I use Bumble and Bumble curl conditioner and occasionally a Wee Dod leave-in for locking in moisture. And then I pixie diffuse and hover diffuse if I want it to look really nice and wavy. But again, we are several days out from that, so we are at the point where it is a little bit Is it okay if you call me robogoat, like robocop? Just if you call me vague syllables that sound like robogoat, I'll probably answer. I can convert you. Give me one line. Does money have power? If so, it's a faith in society. So you're wrong. You're not atheist. atheist would refer to like belief in a god or like lacking a belief in a god. So money would not be a god. Money is a social construct where we arbitrarily assign value to things in order to have like some sort of standardized exchange rate for currency. It's not a god. Oh, the person who's commenting on my YouTube videos is in the YouTube chat. Hey, Knight, how's it going? Hey there.
Oh no. Wait, say something? I don't think I'm properly connected. I might have to drop and come back. Hold on.
Okay, well, I can hear you. All right. Money is my god, whether I like it or not. People, like, Christians especially, love to redefine everything as, like, a god or an idol. It's just like, if you like any certain thing, it is your idol or it is your god. It's so strange.
Okay, testing.
Hello?
Okay, I hear you decently. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you all right. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Marquise, 31.
Okay, and if chat were gonna refer to you, would they use he, she, they, something else?
That's fine.
Which?
All.
All, alright. We'll say any all. And you guys know the drill, we're gonna respect our pronouns. So Marquise, what religion are you gonna convert me to tonight?
I don't convert anybody to religion, so I just simply affirm that God exists.
Okay, did you happen to read the big old text above my head?
Yeah, correct. So if I affirm that God exists, what does that have to do with religion?
I mean, you can affirm it all you want. I'm not going to believe you.
Okay, so I'm just curious. What am I supposed to be doing if you're not going to believe me? How am I going to convert you if you won't believe me?
You would have to convince me.
Just fundamentally, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, have you never heard of, like, swaying someone with information before? Have you never heard of presenting an argument?
So when you're talking about something that you don't believe in like God, how could I possibly accumulate all the information needed to convert you specifically?
Give me evidence that there's a God first.
Okay, perfect. So what evidence would you be looking for?
Prefer empiricism, but some argumentation is acceptable if it's valid and sound.
Okay, so if God could be proven with math, that would suffice for you?
If God could be proven with math, it would be interesting to see what you mean by that.
So I couldn't get a straight yes or no answer?
I can't tell you definitively whether or not it would sway me before I hear the argumentation.
It's very interesting when you're talking about something empirical.
I just try to be like measured in my responses, because if I'm like, well, yes, math would convince me, and then you're like, okay, 2 + 2 = God, therefore God exists.
Well, I just don't expect math to be illogical, so I don't think it's going to be fruitful conversation if you couldn't give that a yes or no answer.
Yeah, again, I'm just like, oh, okay, you're just gonna bail. Well, that was interesting. Oh no, my song didn't play correctly.
No Christian, where was the Spirit? Why run from my simple questions? Don't you have the answers in your book?
I appreciate that Joel says book.
Hello.
Hey there! Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Montana 32, and here him.
Alright, Montana, what religion are you gonna convert me to tonight?
Well, it's not so much a religion, it's more so, I would say, spiritual.
Okay. Go on.
So, I guess the real question is, what do you believe happens when you die?
Nothing. I think it's the same as before I was
Nothing.
born.
You think it's just emptiness, empty void?
Well, that implies like there's something for me to perceive. I don't think I would be perceiving anything, even an endless void. I think it'd be the same as before I was born, just a lack of existing.
Yeah, nothingness.
Yeah.
And have you ever thought anything other than that in your lifetime?
Oh, I was Christian for a long time.
And what made you switch?
Realized that the God they were talking about didn't exist.
So, have you ever pondered that there might be something else other than nothingness?
I haven't pondered, but perhaps mused.
Mused?
Like a supermassive black hole sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so then what is your ideology behind existence? How do you think we became? Do you believe in like the Big Bang? Do you believe in...
Well, the Big Bang is not like a definitive start to the
Nope, it's not.
universe.
Theory.
That's not what I meant, but also theory has a different meaning in a scientific context. The Big Bang is not like an absolute beginning of the universe. It is a beginning of the current state of our universe. I think that the universe was eternal. I think that the beginning of life on Earth was likely due to abiogenesis, or life from non-living matter.
All right. So, I guess to sway you in the way that it would sway towards spiritual, you'd have to have like a belief in the beginning and how the beginning was ever created. So if you don't really have a real belief in that nature, then there's no way of converting you.
Yeah, I don't think there was a beginning. I think it's contradictory for there to be any state prior to time.
Okay.
Because for there to be a state prior to time, it would have to be a state in which nothing could ever change, because anything changing would be a sequence of events, therefore it would be in time. So somehow this timeless, unchanging state would have to change to become within time. So for a changeless state to change would be contradictory. So I don't think there was a beginning to time.
That's fair. So let me think here. Have you ever lost anyone?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, have you ever thought that maybe their consciousness was transferred? Or do you think it's just absolute gone?
I'd say gone. I think that your consciousness is an emergent property from your brain.
That's fair then. Yeah, I think this would be something that you'd have to have more, I guess, in a sense, magic or science that you haven't seen yet to sway you in something that I don't have right now. So I don't think there's anything I could say to sway you in a conversion right now.
Do you have any evidence, any arguments against what I've said thus far?
No, not really. I mean, I personally am. I don't believe in nothing. I would like to believe in the fact that we potentially might go somewhere, but I don't believe in religion. So I'm in a very gray area, but I'm not an atheist in the way that I believe in not believing, because it's a religion on its own, right? Atheist is a religion. It's a belief in not believing.
No.
What do you mean?
It's a lack of belief. A lack of belief is not a belief.
Well, it is. It absolutely is.
How so? How is it a belief to not believe?
That is a belief. That's part of a belief system. So believing and not believing is a religion on its own.
No, lacking a belief is not a belief. That would be contradictory.
Well, it's still something that you're believing. Believing in nothing is still believing.
I'm not saying I believe in nothing. I lack a belief in it.
But you believe that there's nothing when you die, thus that is still a belief system.
We're talking about belief in relation to the existence of a god. I lack a belief in the existence of any god.
Or anything other than God.
Well, I believe that this cup is real.
Right?
And it's normal sized.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't think there's any swaying you unless I had some sort of magic that I could show you to make you, like, blow your mind or something.
If you did a sick magic trick right now, maybe I would convert.
Yeah, right? I mean, unfortunately, I don't have anything that's like teleportation or something, show up behind you or something crazy, you know?
Damn, you missed your chance, mind freak.
I kind of missed my chance there.
Yeah.
Well, this was interesting, though. Do enjoy this live, though. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Montana. Have a good one. Yeah, Dan, that's a good point that kind of sums up some of the callers tonight. If you don't already believe in God, I don't know how I can get you to believe in God. I wouldn't ask you to convert me to a religion that I was already a part of. How would that even work? How would that even work? It's not a sip. It is a practical, normal-sized cup. It holds 16 ounces of liquid. Fuck you guys, making fun of my cup.
Yo.
Hey, can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
VS 22. Yeah. Him.
All right, VS, what religion are you gonna convert me to tonight?
More or less religion, I guess, just like a more rational belief that there's like a higher universal mind.
A more rational belief. Okay, well, I love being rational, so hit me with it.
What's it called? I guess I've been doing a little bit of studying into physicalism, and I just specifically reductive physicalism, and I just couldn't come up with quote unquote how objective physical chemicals can somehow be intrinsically experiential.
I don't believe that all of them are.
Yeah, so which ones are?
So in the process of abiogenesis, that would mean that non-living material would give way to living material. From that living material, through the process of evolution and many generations, we see the emergent property of consciousness coming from organic matter. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it called? So what's it called? You said emerging?
It's emergent property.
Oh, perfect. So how do chemical interactions that don't possess experiential properties somehow do it? Through what?
Yeah, it's just electrical impulses in sync with our sensory
Electrical
organs.
impulses don't have experiential properties, so you're not answering the question.
Yeah, it's that wasn't my full answer. So it was those electrical impulses in conjunction with our sensory organs. So those electrical impulses help to deliver certain signals from those sensory organs, which is what allows us to perceive the world around us, have a conscious experience.
You said, okay, it's the conjunction between electrical impulses and our sensory organs?
Yeah.
Okay, and how?
we see things with our eyes.
Right.
So that's just going to be
and then,
light hitting our eyes. For some reason, it's reversed multiple times because our retinas are upside down. We have the optic nerve connects into our brain to be processed by those electrical signals. Those things don't exist objectively, right? We are
What doesn't? Sorry. What doesn't exist objectively? Sorry.
Our sensory experiences.
Our sensory experience. So what would that? What would that like? Can you give me an example?
Like the fact that I am looking at a screen right now.
That
Like
doesn't exist.
that the experience of looking at the screen does not objectively exist.
So would that
It
be
is
metaphysical? The experience itself?
no, not necessarily. So it exists, I would say, almost conceptually, because
What does that mean?
it is being
Sorry.
experienced only by me. It is not something that is tangible. Its results, you could say, are material because,
So it's
like,
first person.
well, yes, but that's not really what I'm saying directly.
Right, but you'd have to eventually say that it's first person, because I mean, it's there, it's undeniable, it's there, but
Yeah, but if I'm saying it's not
somehow it's
objective,
not.
that would mean it's subjective. So why would it be a problem for something subjective to be experienced first person?
Well, no, I asked you if it was metaphysical, and you said not necessarily.
What does metaphysicality and subjectivity have to, like,
Well, no,
where's
is the
the
experience, you said it doesn't exist, the experience itself, right?
it doesn't objectively exist is what I said.
It doesn't objectively exist. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm a little slow, so like, what do you
Yeah, in the
mean?
so objective would just be mind independent.
Right?
Outside of a mind, those experiences don't exist. Those experiences must be processed by a mind, therefore they are mind dependent.
Oh, right. Okay, so then it subjectively exists? Like the experience,
Yes.
I guess it would be subjective to you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they exist just personally.
Again, exist only in the presence of my own mind, yes.
Right. So okay, perfect. So they exist in the presence of your own mind. So what's it called? Do you believe in a self?
Can you clarify what you mean by self?
I guess I mean
A
I don't want to say
mind? Is that
no, I don't want to say qualia, but I guess what it feels like to be I don't know your name, but robot goat.
again subjectively?
Oh,
Because
but
in the
so it
absence of
exists to you.
in the absence of my mind, it would not exist.
And then ultimately,
And it
wait,
is the result
okay.
of those physical processes that I described earlier of the electrical impulses in conjunction
So
with sensory
physical
organs.
processes entail things that don't exist, but they're personal to you.
Again, when I say don't exist, that
Right.
doesn't mean that they don't exist in any form. I said they don't objectively exist, which means in the absence of my mind, they do not exist.
So you take in non-objective experiences and you feel them. How can you feel something that's how do you feel that? How do you get an inner feeling towards that?
You need me to explain to you how we feel things?
No, I'm not talking about the nervous system or anything physical. Like Howard, how do you
It seems you've got your answer.
Yeah, how do you what's it called? How do you perceive a non-objective experience? Why okay, well excuse me, that's not the right question. Why isn't it just mere like computer processing? Why is it felt? Why is it not just computation? I don't know if that's
Well,
the right
again, that those feelings are again just going to be subjective experiences that are the result of our sense organs,
Yeah,
right?
but
So
why?
we can feel pressure. Our skin can detect pressure. That is the result of those signals of our
That
sense
wasn't
organ in
that wasn't my
conjunction with our
question.
mind.
That wasn't my question.
I'm
My
again
question.
demonstrating to you how those
Okay.
physical processes
No,
work
the
only in
question's
the presence
why.
of a mind.
No, it's why. It's not how, it's why. Why
Why?
is it felt rather than just mere computate or mere just processing?
I'm not sure what you mean. The feeling is the form of processing that our bodies undergoes.
Yeah, but what the feeling
Bodies
is
undergo.
Yeah, understood, but why is it not just okay, well, this will clear it up. Can you have behavior without experience?
Can you have behavior without experience? Can you clarify whether you mean generally? Like, can you have any behavior if you lack any sort of subjective experience? Is that what you're asking? Or can you have a specific
Sure.
behavior if you have not experienced it before?
No, the first one.
Okay. Can you have behavior if you cannot experience in any form? I would say you probably wouldn't have behavior.
No, can you
But-
have behavior though? Can you have things
Yeah, that's what I answered. I said if you don't have any sort of experience, like if you have an inability to experience anything,
Well, it
then
doesn't
you
have to be
would not be
humans, it
able to
can be
have
anything.
behavior.
It can be anything.
That
Doesn't
is
have to be.
universally true. If you completely lack the ability to experience, you would not have behavior.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You might want to take that answer back.
If you completely lack the ability to experience in
So do you
any
think
form,
nothing, right? Do what's it called when you cut off something's a frog's leg or something like that? Does it still twitch and move? Is that behavior? Good job.
no, it's not behavior.
What is it then?
It's
What
not
the
behavior.
fuck?
It's no longer
What is
collected
it?
to a nervous system. It's musculature,
What is
like
it?
it's muscle
Yeah, that's
spasms.
behavior. That's behavior.
That's not
Great.
behavior.
That is does a digestive system behave?
Does the system itself behave? I would say no. I would say that the organism does.
A digestive system does if you take a heart out and you, I guess, I don't know, take the heart out, can it still pump when it's on ice for a
That
little
would
bit?
again. I'm not saying that's
behavior.
No, that is
That
not
is
behavior.
Yes, it is behavior.
It is not behavior because it lacks any sort of mind behind it. It's not behavior unless
That's
you're
behavior.
trying to redefine behavior. Like if wind
you
blows
define
through if wind blows through a forest and like the leaves move in the wind, are you classifying that as behavior?
No, absolutely not.
But
no.
trees are living things, so why would that not be behavior?
Oh, perfect. So then, okay, well, actually, that's a great point. So yeah, you can have behavior with.
So you think that
experience.
leaves
There you
blowing
go.
in the wind is behavior?
Oh, not blowing in the wind. I guess the tree, or like I don't know, maybe a carnivorous plant that I don't know, eats flies or something like that. That's behavior.
What's the difference there?
What do you mean? How do you define behavior?
Well, I'm asking you because you said it wasn't the leaves blowing that was behavior, but a carnivorous plant digesting something would be behavior. So what's the difference between those two?
I guess the difference would be probably the definition of behavior. Like you can say the wind is behaving in a certain way.
So how are you defining behavior? You're just pushing the question further down the road, BS.
Yeah, I am. I don't want to butcher behavior. I guess let me
I
get the
think you already
textbook.
have. You put it
Let me
on
get
ice
the
and somehow it's
textbook.
still pumping, which doesn't really happen.
Yeah, it does happen actually. They can keep the heart pumping for a little minute. Yeah, that's true.
Not
So-
on its own in ice. You would need
Yes,
specialized
on it-
equipment to keep it pumping.
Have you ever seen a? You know what? Let me not say that before you get banned. You've never seen a video where something happens and the heart is still pumping? Yeah, no, you just haven't experienced that yet. Never mind.
I'm sorry I'm not edgy and I don't spend all my time on Live Leak. I don't know what the fuck you're watching.
The observable, measurable interactions of
I can't hear you when you're out of the app.
it's just the system reacting to its environment.
System? What do you mean by system?
I have to define that. Actually, no. I could probably tell you. No, I couldn't tell you. Maybe a complex structure.
A complex structure reacting
that-
to its environment. I'll just do a quick little search of my own over here.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so everything that immediately comes up is talking about organisms. So, complex actions such as movement, social interaction, cognition, and learning exhibited by animals, including humans. This one says observable but measurable actions, reactions, and inactions of living organisms in response to their environment. So a
Yeah.
frog leg on its own is not an organism.
What about
Nor
the
an
carnivorous
animal.
plant? Or what about like a jellyfish that doesn't have a brain that still moves? Those are still living organisms.
But they still experience.
You can experience without a brain.
Yes.
Good job. How can you possibly experience without a brain?
You have a different type of nervous system. For example, bacteria,
What?
when... Yeah.
You can
Chemotaxis.
you can take in an experience.
Chemotaxis. Look it up.
I don't. So just does the jellyfish experience?
In its own way, yes. It looks
Lord have
different from
mercy.
our form of experience, but it does experience.
What do you? Okay, well then, what do you mean by experience?
Yeah, so when we're talking about experience, we're mainly talking about the ability to sense and react to the world around you. The fact that jellyfish...
Sense and react? No, that's behavior. Sense and react to the environment around you is behavior. That's not what experience means.
Sensing does not equal behavior. You can sense
Wait,
something without having a behavior.
You can sense something without having a behavior.
Yes.
What do you mean by sense something?
I can sit in complete, like, total silence and stillness and look at something. I am sensing something, but I'm not exhibiting a behavior towards that thing.
Does your brain react to it?
Does
Is
my
that a
brain
behavior?
react? No, that is not a behavior.
Lord have mercy, your brain reacting to its
Behavior
environment
is
not a... Oh my gosh.
observable, measurable actions, reactions
You
of
can
living
observe and measure
organisms
your
in
brain.
response
You
to their
can-
environment.
Yeah, great. You can observe and measure your brain reacting to, I don't know, a sound or something. What are you saying?
I don't. When we're talking about
What?
measurable actions,
Yeah,
we
you
don't.
can measure that.
Yeah, we don't mean by literally like hooking up electrodes and measuring like brain waves. That's not what it means by
What? Why
measurable
not?
actions.
So what? Is that not a measurable action? What are you talking about here?
I would say that's not an action.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What action would I be taking?
By hooking up your brain and seeing how it
No,
reacts to
In that moment, what action am I taking?
It's not an action, it's a reaction. It's a reaction to its environment, which would be the definition that you gave me.
Observable and measurable
Yeah, you
actions,
can observe-
reactions, and inactions.
Great. You can you can observe, measure it, and test it. It's behaving to its environment. That's not experience.
That is experience.
That's what the fuck? That's the definition of behavior.
Experience is sensing
What the
things.
fuck?
Okay, do I need to look up a fucking definition of experience too?
Clearly, because you're confusing it with behavior.
Because you can have experience without behavior, but you cannot have
You
behavior
didn't say
without
what the,
experience.
wait. Did you said you can have behavior without experience?
No, I said the opposite.
You can have experience without
You can have
behavior.
experience without behavior. You cannot
Well,
have behavior without experience.
Well, then what's the definition of experience?
According to Cambridge, the process of getting knowledge of skill from doing, seeing, or feeling things.
Doing, feeling, or seeing things.
It's the process of getting
the
knowledge
process of getting
or
knowledge.
skill from doing, seeing, or feeling things. So jellyfish, they don't have a nervous system in the way that we do, but they still experience things. They still react defensively. That's why jellyfish sting, right?
Well, then I kind of want to clarify something. Let me see.
Another one says a direct observation of or participation in events. Another says something personally encountered, undergone, or lived through. I don't think that's really the type of experience we're talking about in this context, though. That's more like life experience.
Yeah, no, so I just searched something up. I was just seeing if behavior is just specifically that definition, and there's multiple. But I guess just going with this definition by itself, for example, I guess maybe uh what's it called? So a digestive system doesn't behave, you said, right?
I would say no.
So what does it do?
I don't think it behaves. I think there is a series of chemical reactions undertaken within the system itself, but the system is not an agent. If it is not an agent, it cannot participate in behavior.
Does it react to its environment?
Does it react to its environment? Things can react to their environment without it being behavior. Again, a wind blowing
Isn't
through the
that the
leaves
something-
will make the leaves blow back and forth. That is reacting to the environment. That is not a behavior.
Is the wind a complex system?
I'm not talking about the behavior or lack thereof of the wind. I'm talking about the leaves.
Oh, the leaves. The leaves reacting to the wind?
Yes.
The wind is making the leaves react. I guess the wind would be the environment, and then the
Right.
leaves would just.
would be reacting by moving
Yeah.
because of the wind. That's
then the
not a
leaves would be-
behavior.
Okay, but the leaves without the wind, do the leaves do that?
No, because they're reacting to their environment, but it's not a behavior.
So what's it called? Oh, but it's not a behavior. So so reacting to your environment doesn't always mean behavior.
Correct.
Okay, so then I guess I'd have to ask you what 100% determines if something is a behavior and whether it's not, if it's not interaction with its environment.
I would say whether or not it's undertaken by an agent would be like a necessary qualification.
What do you mean by agent?
So an agent would be like an entity with a will.
Oh, wait. So it has to be an entity with a will. Do jellyfishes have fucking will?
An abstract version, yes.
What do you mean by that?
They have a will to absorb food, to reproduce.
What do you mean? They don't have is it? Okay, it's not subjective though, right? Clearly
What do you
not.
mean?
Like their will is not a jellyfish's quote unquote, I guess, abstract will is not rooted in their mind because they don't even have a fucking mind. They don't have brains. So it would be an objective will.
No. So even though they don't have a brain structure like ours, they do still have
A will.
a form. No, they have a form of nervous system, so that's what makes their will more abstract. Obviously, a jellyfish isn't going to be like, "Oh, I hope I get that promotion at work." Like that's not how it works.
No, I
But-
understand.
But they
Yeah.
they undertake certain behaviors to keep themselves alive, to reproduce.
Define abstract. What do you mean abstract? Like out of the ordinary?
No, when I'm saying abstract, I mean just like different from the way that we would typically process it. Like if we think of like a
Bruh,
will,
nah.
we typically think of like something a little more concrete. Like I have a will to, like I said, get a promotion.
Sure.
That's not exactly like jellyfish don't conceptualize of things in that same way, but they do
Yeah, but
still have a will because they engage in certain behaviors to achieve
But
certain
they don't
goals.
have a mind? You wait, hold up. Goals. Wait, goals. They don't even know what they're doing.
And that's why I'm saying
Jellyfish
it's,
just
and that's why I'm
do.
saying it's more abstract. They don't have like this is a
Nah.
goal that I am doing, but
You're
they
saying
engage
abstract as in,
in
like-
behaviors in order
Nah.
to achieve a goal.
You're saying abstract as in like keep in mind, like I'm not trying to, but like abstract for you is like a cope. Like what abstract? You're just like trying to adhere to your point by saying abstract. Like absolutely not. Abstract has it's
No, what I'm trying to
absolutely not.
demonstrate to you is even though jellyfish don't have like a central nervous system in which they process like almost like in words, hey, I want to do this, so I'm going to do this, they still take actions to achieve goals, which is having a will.
They don't achieve. No, they don't have. They don't even have a goal. They just do. Do you understand
They
what that
no,
means?
but they do take actions to achieve goals. If they are hungry, they eat. That is taking an action to achieve the goal of no longer being hungry.
If they are
Again, that's why I'm
hungry?
saying it's more abstract.
What do you mean You're acting. Okay, this is great.
Do you think jellyfish don't eat?
No. What? No. If they're hungry, okay. Does that system like okay, if they're hungry, they eat, or is it just they eat and they react to that? Is it just that system reacting, or is it like do they feel an intrinsic hunger, or do they just react to not having food? There's a difference.
They take actions to abate hunger.
Wait, so then when your digestive system doesn't what's it called? Does it have a will, an abstract will? Because when you don't have food, it starts fucking taking your fat from your body.
No.
So how would that work?
Because again, digestive systems in themselves are not agents.
Oh,
and they
it's
are
not
not
an agent.
organisms.
I forgot. Right. Okay, so what's it called? Then I guess from the jellyfish thing is it's a system that doesn't have a quote unquote will, like a normal will. It has this somehow abstract will that it just like what? I think it's just a
Because I
system
can't keep
reacting.
explaining this to you.
I think you're just not understanding. It's a system that it's reacting to
If
not
it is
having
if
food.
it is
It
an
doesn't have a will
organism,
to
an
eat.
agent that takes specific actions to achieve certain goals,
It doesn't
then
have
that
a
would be
will.
a behavior.
It doesn't have a will.
It doesn't have a will the same way that we do, but it has a will in the way that jellyfish have wills, and that's why I've been using the term
You're just
abstract.
coping to jellyfish. You're just coping using abstract and jellyfish.
fucking god, Fias.
You're literally just coping.
They do not have wills in the same way that we do.
Does it? Okay, let me ask you. Does
They
it will
have
to eat?
wills. Yes.
Does it will? They will to eat, or do they react to not having food? That doesn't. Those are two different things.
They will to eat because of the lack of food.
They will to eat, or does the system react?
They will to
There's
eat.
a different. Lord of mercy.
And I am telling you, knowing the distinction you're trying to make, that they will to eat.
So then let me the carnivorous
Because-
plant. Does he also will to eat?
Yes.
What the fuck? How does that's crazy. That's insane.
Have you
That's-
never encountered a
that's
carnivorous
literally-
plant that...
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't know. They just react to not having food. It's a difference. What? That's crazy.
They
that you
react
think
to
that.
not having food.
Yes, there's a difference.
If it was reacting to not having food, then they would not take any actions to achieve the food.
Wait, say
they
that
would not
again?
take... If it was just reacting to not having food, then they would not be taking any direct action to acquire food.
They would not take any direct action to acquire food. If it was just, that's so stupid. What are you even saying? What? That doesn't make any sense. Yes, a system will react based on its makeup and based on its environment. Absolutely. What are you talking about?
So, if we're talking about like a Venus flytrap, it closes in on its food. If it were just reacting to lack of food, it wouldn't be taking
No, what-
specific...
What are you What? You don't even know what you're talking about. If it's a Venus flytrap, it doesn't have any food. It's gonna open its mouth because it senses it doesn't have food. It doesn't will to open its fucking mouth. It senses.
The mouth stays open. Mouth. It's not an actual...
I meant when
it's not properly a mouth.
Oh,
it actually...
excuse me. No, you're correct. You are correct. Then I guess no, you're right there. Then when it's open, it starts emitting this scent or this like honey on its tongue. I don't know, whatever the fuck it's called. And it's reacting to not having food. So it emits this scent so it can what's it called? Attract flies or whatever. So yeah, it's just reacting.
Yeah, I wouldn't even argue necessarily, like, again, we talked about like organisms, in particular animals. So plants even is stretching it, but I can still make an argument here, because what happens when the food is on the plant?
Yeah, it reacts to sensor to its quote unquote, I don't want to say nervous system, but it's sense, whatever the fuck it is. It's nervous senses, bro. It's just reacting. It's just how it's just its makeup. it's literally, it doesn't have a will to do anything. It's literally just a system reacting and interacting with its environment.
Okay.
Well,
So if you want to extend that out, then humans also wouldn't have a will. We're just reacting to our environments.
That's your view.
No, that's your view. The way you
You're
just
the
defined a will.
atheist.
You
You're
just
the
defined a
fucking
will.
atheist.
You just defined a
What?
will. You
What's the
actually
will?
defined away the existence of wills by saying that everything is merely a reaction to our environment.
I
So
didn't
therefore,
say that. Oh my gosh, you're literally what?
that's what you said.
No, that is
You
not what I said. Absolutely not.
You said
That's
it's
what I
not
said.
a will, it's just a reaction to the environment.
Specifically with Venus flytraps. I wasn't talking about humans or anything.
Yeah,
like
but by that definition, humans would also lack a will because everything is just a reaction to our environments.
how? I'm not an atheist. You are.
You're saying that if it is just a reaction to the environment, then it's not a will. So everything
it's
that
just a
humans
reaction-
experience is just a reaction to our environments, then there would be no such thing as a will.
You are the atheist. I'm not the atheist. You are.
Who the
What
fuck
do you
brought
not
theism or
understand about
atheism
that?
into this, Viaz? I'm talking about the way you just defined will
Great.
would mean that humans don't have a will.
How did I define will? What did I say will is?
You said that a will would. You said if it is just a reaction to
No,
the
no, what did I
environment, it is
define- no,
not
no.
a will.
What did I define will as?
I'm saying, by the way, what you said a will wasn't.
What did I?
Let me clarify.
So I didn't
You
define
said-
will. Great job,
s-
bro.
Let me
Phenomenal.
clarify.
Good
You
job.
said if it is just a reaction to the environment, it is not a will.
What was my definition of will?
I'm saying you
Good
said.
job. Great.
Okay, can I present a
Reddit
little
tier
syllogism
atheist.
for you?
Fuck.
Syllogism with your own beliefs if you're going to be an asshole. Premise 1, and again, this is off of what you stated.
What was my definition of will?
This again, I'm gonna form a syllogism
you
off of
answering
things
the
that you have
questions?
stated because I'm fucking talking, Viaz. Hello?
Don't get
Why
mad
would
you're
I
losing.
stop my sentence to
get mad
answer
you're
your
losing.
question?
Do not get mad you're losing.
Trust me, I am.
You're literally
I am.
getting
I would have
mauled in front
nothing
of
to get mad about.
137 people. You were getting mauled. Good
Okay,
job.
so Viaz, little syllogism with things you have said. You said that if it is a response to the environment, a system responding to an environment, then it is not a will. Everything
It's a
we
behavior.
experience is just our system responding to the environment.
No, I know.
Therefore,
No.
we lack
Nope,
will.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't. I didn't say that.
That
You saying
is,
that.
but
That's not what I
true.
said. Why are you lying? I did not say that. You're literally lying. What the fuck? Why are you taking what you didn't even? You're adding things to what I said. You're not even taking what I said and putting it out of context. You're adding things. That's not what I said at all.
So what do we experience that is not just us like sensing our environment
I
and
believe
reacting
we
to
have
it?
a self. I believe that it comes from a universal.
That's
You're
great.
the
So what do we?
atheist.
So
the
what do we experience that
this
is
is
not
crazy.
just us sensing and reacting to our environment?
What do we experience? That the qualia, the what it feels like, that's extra.
And that's not just us sensing
No,
and
that's
reacting
not-
to our
no,
environment.
Absolutely, no, absolutely
So that comes from
not.
somewhere other than our environment.
The quote unquote the self or the quote unquote I'm not even quote unquote what the fuck the qualia of whatever it might be. I guess for example like I don't know, a chocolate yeah, why not a chocolate bar. The what it feels like to be my system trying chocolate is extra. It's not just your system reacting to this because it's personal and it's not observable by anyone else. So it has to be extra.
Unless they put electrodes
What-
on your brain, right?
You said what?
Unless they put electrodes on your brain, right? Then it is
I'm
observable.
stupid. I don't know what that means.
If they like measure your brain waves.
No, yeah. Guess what? Guess what? Even if you did that, you wouldn't be able to know what it's like to be my system
But I'd
experiencing
be.
that.
But you. That's not what you
Great
said.
job, atheist.
That's not what you said,
Shit.
Viaz. You said it was
Bro, you're just getting
unobservable.
murdered.
You
You're just
said it was
getting banana breaded. Holy shit! You're not good at this, are you?
It's when the men start to speak over me more and like get all
You're
that
just
like
getting mauled.
cry
You're just
yelling.
yo, everyone just look at her.
This is what
mauled.
people say when they're winning.
This is what
Viaz.
gaytheists say when they. Are you Reddit too? Did you get your atheism on Reddit?
No, I went
Do
to
some
a
more
community
research, bro.
atheist. I went to community atheist school. couldn't afford it, so I wanted to get the credits before I transferred to an accredited atheist university. So Vias,
Yo, that's actually good. I like that.
thank you. So Vias, you said it wasn't observable, but we could observe it, so that was incorrect.
No, I didn't. Nope, I did not say it. Why do you, bro? Why do you just?
You said it
lie?
cannot be
You just-
observed by anyone else.
Yeah, you say. Guess what? You know, I'm not even gonna go in what you.
So
said.
if
Yeah,
you
no, that
observe
qualia,
brainwaves,
that inner no, even if you observe your brainwaves, you don't know what it's like to be that system trying.
that's not. You didn't
chocolate.
say. You didn't say know what it's like. You said cannot be observed by anyone else.
Yeah, you can't observe what it's like. You can't observe what it's like for me to try to be my system to try. I don't chocolate, bro. You can't observe. You can't. No one can observe.
I can
that.
observe it. I just can't experience it.
You can observe what it's like to be my system experiencing what it tastes like to
Yes,
chocolate?
by looking
How?
at you.
Are you like dumb?
That's
Do you know what
observation. I
qualia
fear.
means?
I fear looking at
Dude, what
people
does
is
qualia mean?
observation.
What does qualia mean?
Qualia is just gonna be. It's an internal way of regulating information into categories.
Are you? You know what? Everyone just go look up the definition of qualia and then just make fun of her in the comments.
I think he's teacup to go do it himself. Vias, whenever you're ready to come back. I know you've probably run out of prompts for the day, but I'm still here. Oy. All right, and he's gone. Well, I didn't do that, so I guess he looked up qualia. Well, hello there. Did you mean to request? Nope. I'm gonna say probably not. We have an accidental request. Just so everyone knows, we only accept accidental requests on Sundays. I need a Philbro timer. I call them glossaries. Just because I think it's funny. And I'm working on getting a timer plug-in. I was actually trying to get it before this stream started up. I just didn't quite get it in time. Because fucking Joel went live before I did. Right before my live started. No worries. I appreciate the accidental request. Yeah, I was definitely getting a little emotional there.
Function was
Hey,
Oh,
Al.
5 to kick. Just say you're a grifter, bro.
Okay, you're a grifter.
Okay. So can you convert this atheist?
You were here the other night. You've seen this prompt.
No. Wait, what? No, I wasn't here last night. The last thing I remember was like, holy crap, I can't even remember. Okay, cool. So can I convert you to what?
Dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice. Okay. I just say things exist in reality. I'll convert you to that belief.
That things exist?
Hmm?
It's not a particularly novel concept, nor is it against atheism. That's not really converting me if I
Oh, it
already
has to be
believe it.
against atheism. Okay, I thought you just
Well,
said
it's,
convert.
can you convert if it's something I already, like, agree with? Is that really a conversion?
Okay, well, I mean, what if it's in like within epistemic bounds, like you don't know it or you're not acquainted with it? You know what? Never mind. So does it have to be against atheism?
Well, it's just when it's convert, it would mean something that I don't already agree with. I agree that things exist, at least as far as we can tell. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's kind of so. Like, what do you want me to convert you to exactly? That's what like I'm asking you. It's like.
Well, typically people start talking about their religions.
Okay, cool. I'm a Christian. What are your moral oughts? Like, what are your moral commitments?
And moral commitments.
that
Fuck
make you
bitches,
pursue
get money.
atheism. Yeah, that make you pursue atheism over Christianity.
Yeah,
Or,
fuck
I
bitches,
mean,
get money. I'd say.
what?
Which one do you need me to repeat? Fuck bitches or get money?
Like your moral commitments.
Yeah,
Your moral commitments. Do you know what that is?
I'm very committed to those things.
So what makes you choose atheism over Christianity?
Well, I was a Christian before, and then I looked into it more, and I was like, oh, not true.
Not true in what metric?
Not comporting with reality.
Comporting with reality. Okay, reality abides by logic, not necessarily science. You know that, right?
I don't see how that's relevant. I just said that Christianity doesn't comport with reality. Why do you have to bring science into it?
Well, I mean, you'd have to show illogicality instead of like
I'd
just
have to show
scientific.
illogicality.
Yeah,
Okay.
within Christianity.
Sure, there are contradictions in the Bible. The idea of a triomni God is self-defeating. Like, where do you want to start?
Well, I have like not too much time, so you can just pick one, whatever you're most confident in.
Whatever I'm most confident in. Well, I have a severe lack of confidence. That's why I have my emotional support robot goat here for me. So let's talk about there being a tri-omni God. Do
Okay.
you believe that the God of the Bible is all-powerful, all-loving, all-knowing?
Yeah.
If he is all-loving,
Is this the problem of evil?
no, that just limits the ability to be all-powerful.
If he's all knowing, that limits the ability to be. Okay,
Well,
what's the.
all omnibenevolent, all good is a better way of saying it, I think. Because all loving is a little bit more of it's kind of a weird concept, but like all good, which would encompass all loving if you assume loving to be a good thing. So if for a God to be all good, that would limit its ability to be not good. So it would not be all powerful.
Wait, to act in accordance with God's like nature? Wait, are we serious?
We are
What do you take
all
all
capable
powerful
of
to be?
doing everything within our nature.
Wait, so do you think God can entail like square circles? You think God can create square circles?
I
do
think that the idea
all-powerful?
of being all-powerful is in itself self-defeating because it would also include the ability to do illogical things, which would entail contradictions.
So, but contradictions cannot exist in virtue of like the law of contradiction.
So
or the law
God
of
is constrained by logic?
Yeah, no shit. I don't like.
Did God
What?
create logic?
Logic is grounded within God. Yeah.
That's a different question.
I feel like
Did he
logic's
create
more like a
logic?
given. What do you take logic to be?
Well, if you think that logic existed without God creating it, then logic could just be a brute fact of the universe, and we don't need God for
Well,
it.
what do you take logic to be?
I mean, I would just look at the laws of logic, just a way that things interact in reality, so we can say, like, identity, excluded middle, and non-contradiction.
You gave me examples of logic, but you just said the way that things interact in reality. Is that what logic is to you?
Logic, I would say the laws of logic that we give are going to be sets of rules about the way that things interact. Like, our concept of logic and the laws of logic is separate from the concept of logic itself, because I would say that logic exists objectively, but the laws of logic themselves are subjective.
Okay. All right, sure.
So if God is constrained by logic, that will be interesting. It comes down to, I guess, whether or not you think God created logic or not. Because if logic existed without God having to create it, then that means logic is possible without God's intervention.
Is it possible? Yeah, like, I mean, I guess, sure.
So then we don't have to ground logic in God, so that's a good thing.
Well, that's a whole different argument. Your claim was that God being all powerful and all like loving is contradictory.
Oh yeah, just a fun little side road, because people who try to run tag will say that, like, God must have created logic, or he's the only way to ground logic, rather. But it is along the same lines, right? If you're trying to say that God is all powerful, yet he is constrained by logic, isn't that in itself contradictory? How are there
No, not
restraints on
necessarily.
God's power?
Well,
Unless
like you said it
you're doing the
yourself.
fun thing, like a lot of Christians will redefine all powerful to be like the ability to do just logically possible things, or the ability for God to just do things within his nature. But everyone can do all
Want to
things
do
within their
things
nature.
within their nature. Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
that before. Um, well, I mean, here I might just, if we're going on tangents, I'd just like to say, if the fact you know about tag and you're calling people Phil bros is kind of ironic. Like I feel like that kind of places you into that index.
I
But
know about tag because so many glossaries run it.
exactly, and I mean that's making you that's how I even got introduced. I'm kind of like a pseudo philosopher. I don't really like I just talk to
Well,
people and you learn a bunch. So I
that's
mean,
what a
I
lot
guess you
of
know.
the Phil bros are. That's why I don't give them the respect of calling them Phil bros. I call them glossaries because that's
Well,
all
I
they
mean, yeah,
do. They look at the
you're on your
glossaries and
path.
they think
Yeah,
they know everything.
but you're also on that path, you know, because like you're also repeating the tag argument. You were talking about the problem of like God being
You think
contradictory.
I was running tag as an
No,
atheist?
no, I never said that. I said that the fact that you know about tag is already saying enough,
So the
and you're
fact that
already
I'm
indexing your
educated
conclusion.
on the arguments of the opposing side makes me a Phil bro.
Well, I mean, that's the pathway to it, I'd say. But again, that's just semantics. Whatever. We'll
So
stay on
arguing
topic.
arguing against Phil bro's shitty arguments makes me a Phil bro.
Well, you're becoming acquainted with them, so yeah, that kind of like
I mean,
indexes into that.
I'm becoming acquainted to argue against them and show their weaknesses, right? So,
Exactly. I mean, that's how it all starts. Hey, you can think I'm wrong, but okay.
okay,
Um,
well, in that case, you're an atheist.
what do you mean?
Well, because you've heard my arguments about atheism, you've become acquainted with atheism, so now you're going to be an atheist.
That's not coherent.
Oh, so maybe the thing you said also wouldn't be.
Yeah. Back to your argument, bro.
All right. So, again, if you're trying to redefine all powerful, it's not really all powerful. If you're having to say, well, it's all powerful except these things, you can't have exceptions to being all powerful. That's
Well, I
why
mean,
it's
if you're going
self-defeating.
by, yeah, if you're talking about the classical laws of logic, then or sorry, the classical theistic view of God, then yeah, sure, I guess. But like, if we're talking about the Christian view, they take all powerful to be like all powerful within the bounds of logic. So
Yeah, and again, that's not really all powerful.
how are you gonna tell them that that's presupposed within the worldview? I don't know what you're talking about. I
I
feel
would
like
just
you
ask them the meaning of all.
all powerful.
No, just all.
Oh, just all, just to the extent of all things possible.
So all just means all possible things.
Sure.
So if I say that I can do all tricks on a skateboard, that just means all the ones that I can possibly do, so that would be none, so all can be none.
Well, no, that's not going to be in this scenario.
Okay, so all doesn't just refer to how many are possible.
How many? No, it says all possible things. Yeah, God can entail all
Yeah, so
possible things.
it doesn't just mean possible. It would also have to mean like all potential ones that are not technically possible as well, if you're talking about all.
What? What are you saying? We're not talking about
Yes.
potential. Well, I mean, potential things that are not possible. I don't think you understand what you're saying. If it's not possible, it won't have potentiality for that. So that's like saying, okay, can God entail a square circle? Is there potential for a square circle to exist in the universe? No, because definitionally they contradict. So God should have that potentiality to entail a square circle, but that doesn't work. So I don't know what you're saying there.
Yeah, it just comes back to saying if God is truly all-powerful, he would have to have the ability to actualize contradictions, which is why the idea of an all-powerful being is self-defeating.
Well, no, I don't know what type of Christianity you were in, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know what type of Christianity you were in, but if that's your
And
Christianity, then I'd say that,
again,
yeah,
if you
your God doesn't
reduce
exist.
all to all possible,
Yeah.
that doesn't actually mean all.
All possible thing God can create, do all possible things in reality. All
Okay, well,
possible
I
things
can
that
do
would
all
be
things that are
reality.
possible for me.
For you, yeah. Okay.
So God can only do all things that are possible for him. So what's the distinction
Within
there? Am I
reality,
also
yeah.
all-powerful?
Oh, like the distinction between you and God?
No, if we can both do all the things that are possible for us to do, then what's the distinction? Like, why am I not all powerful?
Why are you not all powerful? I mean, yeah,
Yes.
within your bounds, sure, you'd be all powerful.
Okay, so I'm all powerful?
Within your bounds, yeah. But I mean,
Look at
I
that.
doubt.
We've redefined all powerful so that everybody is now all powerful.
I mean, I guess within your bounds, sure.
It
The reason
becomes
why,
meaningless
listen,
at that
listen.
point.
Well, I mean, I thought you'd be acquainted with this as a Christian, but I'm kind of disappointed. Listen, you can look at it this way. The reason why we hold God in such an
Oh,
almighty
don't
position.
be disappointed in me, Isle. I
The
want to be able
reason
to sleep tonight, please. Just
listen,
stop.
listen.
Don't
The
be
reason we
disappointed.
hold listen. Okay. The reason we hold God in such a high position is because of his all good nature. God is the only thing in this universe that has objective good that's not subject to nature. On top of that, God
Objective
created all things
good.
within the universe.
How
Yeah.
does God have access to objective good?
Intrinsic to his nature.
Intrinsic to his nature. Is he capable of changing his nature?
Capable of changing his nature. Well, I mean, that would defy the thing of all good. I don't know why God would pursue all good.
No, another thing he can't
switch his
do.
nature all good.
Interesting.
That's like saying, can God do evil? It'd be evil for God to remove one thing all good in the universe.
But how is it logically contradictory for him to change his nature?
Because that's evil if God removes all good if God removes good from the universe. That's like saying, can God do evil?
I'm not talking about the removal of good. I'm just talking about, can he change his nature?
If God changes his nature, what would he change it to? Like half good?
Can he change his nature at all in any aspect? Not even necessarily like in respect to goodness.
Well, it depends on. Okay, here I'd only say no. His nature is goodness.
But
I
it's
think
not
that's all
just
the nature.
goodness.
Wait, what do you think a nature is?
Don't you
We're
think
not
there's
talking
more
about-
qualities to his, like, wouldn't you also say that his power is part of his nature? His knowledge is part of his nature? Knowledge is not good or bad.
That's essence.
So it's not nature, it's essence?
It's essence, yeah.
What's the distinction?
What's the distinction? Essence is the composite of all human or all things that create you or composite you. And then nature is just a quality that like pertains to the essence. So it's like having hair is part of your nature or something like that, or part of your essence, but it can be a nature in itself, like having hair. So it's just the quality of a person. Does that make sense or not?
Did you track what you just said?
Yeah, I did.
Because you're like, well, nature is the essence of a quality having, like, hair, but the essence of nature is that it's a part of a person, like the hair of nature that they have of essence.
Well, okay, so you weren't
that's
tracking.
What I just heard.
That's what you just heard. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So in short, I just say that essence is the composite of a person's natures. And natures are just qualities of a person.
Natures. So you can have multiple
Nature, yeah.
natures.
Sure.
How many natures does God have?
How many natures? I'd say all of his necessary qualities. So like goodness, all powerful, all loving, and then all knowing.
Okay, so when I asked if he could change
Yeah.
his nature and he said no, goodness was his only nature, that wasn't true. So can he change?
I never said no. I was thinking about it.
Okay, well then can he change his nature?
Can he change his nature? Or you're saying natures or nature?
Can he change any of his natures?
Change any of his nature? No, because that'd take away from the perfect being that he is.
Okay, so he can't change his nature. What is logically contradictory about changing his nature?
Because that'd take away from his perfection, and that would make him less good. And if he's less good, then he's not all good.
But what is logically contradictory in the act of him changing one of his natures?
Do you need like a premise by premise or something? But God being good is God being himself essentially, because God's already perfect the way he is, because he's omni-triune balance with all good. So if God changed one of his natures,
but God changes his mind multiple times in the Bible, so he's capable of changing his mind. Why is he not capable of changing his nature?
Changing his mind? Wait. So what are you saying?
In the Bible, God changes his mind multiple times. If he's capable of changing his mind, why is he not capable of changing his nature?
God doesn't change his mind.
He does. He decides not to bring wrath down upon the Hebrews for worshiping the golden calf after he's entreated not to. He states he is going to bring down wrath upon them. He is entreated not to, and then it says in the Bible that he changed his mind about the wrath he had planned to bring down on his people.
Bro, I'm so sorry. I thought this was like a given. Never mind. Okay, if you have a half, let's look at it this way. We're talking about atemporal versus temporal change. If we have a cube that is half red and half blue, right? You tracking?
Hold on.
Okay, cool. You're
I'm
pulling up the
pulling up-
verses or what?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's not the verse I wanted. No. Hit back one too many times. Sorry.
Bro, you don't have to pull up the specific
Exodus
verse.
32.
It's like it's applicable to all verses what I'm about to explain to
Well,
you.
yeah, Exodus 32:14, and the Lord changed his mind about the disaster that he planned to bring on his people.
Yeah, okay, so I'm about to apply this to the situation. Imagine you have a cube, right? That's half red, half blue. If you look from one side, let's say the left side is red. If you look from the left side, is it red?
Sure.
Now you move to the blue side, is it blue?
It appears to be.
So did it change?
Did it change? No, but if God states, I am going to do this thing, and then decides not to do that thing, that is him changing his mind.
No, because he always wasn't going to do that thing.
Oh, so he lied.
No.
So he says that he is going to bring down his wrath upon the people. He says, I have seen this people how stiff-necked they are. Now let me alone so that my wrath may burn hot against them and I may consume them. And of you I will make a great nation.
Yeah, so if his intention was never to do that, then I don't see how he changed.
Yeah, so then he would be being dishonest when he's saying, I'm going to do this.
Who was he talking to?
Moses.
Moses. Yeah, no, he wasn't giving Moses that intention.
He said that, like, leave me alone so that my wrath may burn hot against them and I may consume them, and of you I will make a great nation. So he is telling Moses, I'm going to bring my wrath down upon them. If he never intended to actually bring down his wrath, then that would be deceptive. That would be lying. So
what do you
either
take
God...
deception to be?
I would say deception is intentionally saying something that you know to not be true.
No, I don't care for your definition. I want the consensus or the scholarly consensus definition.
Okay, well then why'd you take me what I take to be deceptive? If you didn't want my definition,
Yeah,
why ask me what I think it is?
I thought you were like an honest Christian, bro. I thought you knew half this stuff, but I guess
okay,
not.
Well, Christians don't get to choose what deception means. But let's look
Yeah,
up
well,
what deception
no,
means.
look up- okay,
An act of intentionally misleading others by hiding the truth, providing false information, or confirming false impressions. So, in that case, God hid the truth that he was never actually going to bring down wrath. He provided false information by saying he was going to bring down wrath. So, is it the case that God changed his mind, or the case that God was dishonest?
Hold on.
One must be true.
So is that the scholarly definition or just the Google definition?
That's the definition from Merriam-Webster.
Yeah, okay. I don't know
What do
what it is with you and Merriam-Webster, but like,
Okay,
again, that's not
if you're
makes sense.
okay, so you asked me for my definition. I gave you an operational definition. You didn't like that. You wanted me to look it up in a dictionary. I looked it up in a dictionary. You don't like that dictionary. What dictionary do you want me to use then, Isle? If you're going to be this specific about what you want, then tell me up front.
The scholarly consensus. There's no dictionary for this. Again, it's just scholarly consensus.
Then why
I
are you
thought
asking me for a definition in absence of any agreed upon dictionary definition?
Because we're not talking about the secularist definition, which they dissect from not like the biblical context.
Why would we look at specifically a Christian definition for deception?
What? You're asking for the concept or the context of the statement within the Bible, right?
No, I'm
As
not
it's
asking for the
interpreted?
context of the statement. I am telling you for God to say something and then later not do the thing he said, the only options are either that he deliberately said something knowing it wasn't true, or he changed his mind from what he had originally planned to do. So either it was deception in that he intentionally told Moses something that he knew to be false, or he changed his mind and what he had told Moses wasn't what he actually decided to do because his mind was changed. It has to be one of those things. You cannot hold that it was neither.
Okay, so again, you still haven't given me any type of scholarly thing, but I'll look it up for you, bro, if it helps you that much. Okay, cool. So yeah, within the context of this thing, we were talking about God's intentions, correct? The Bible is literally just a displaying of people's intentions, correct?
A displaying of people's intentions?
Yeah.
Well, this is God, not people.
In virtue of their language or the language that they're using, is that not the case?
In virtue of the language that they're using? You're saying that this is people interpreting the actions of God?
Yeah.
So do you deny that God said he was going to bring down this wrath?
Verbatim? Or like, is that the depiction used?
Well, it is depicted that God says to Moses he is going to bring down this wrath. Maybe not in so many words, but do you disagree conceptually that God told Moses he had planned to bring down wrath upon the people?
Conceptually, it's arbitrary because we're looking at anthropomorphic language here. Do you know what that is?
Arbitrary. So it's not arbitrary because if this didn't happen, like if the Bible's not trying to present this as reality, then it's a completely different story. I'm not saying verbatim. That's why I asked, did he say to Moses that he planned to bring down wrath on the people?
Are we serious? You're just not understanding
I'm
at all.
not claiming verbatim. Did God express to Moses in some form? Express. Yeah, say was used colloquially.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry that I didn't use the scholarly consensus of the word say. Did God express to Moses that he intended to bring down wrath upon the people for worshiping the golden calf?
No.
He didn't. So this verse is not true.
No. No, I'm saying that he did, but it was used anthropomorphically. You're just not understanding it.
What do you think anthropomorphic means?
It's just whenever you're conveying something, almost like personification. You're just describing something using human emotions or actions so that people can understand it.
But this says God said, like the Lord said to Moses.
Yeah, talking. You realize that's a human action, yeah?
So you don't think God ever speaks?
God displays his intentions. I don't really think he needs to speak to display.
Did he display the intention to bring down wrath upon the people?
Sure.
And did he bring down wrath upon the people?
No.
So either he displayed false intentions or he changed his mind.
No, he didn't change his intentions.
Okay, then he gave false intentions.
No, wait, what? How do you give false intentions?
If the intentions that he gave did not comport with what he actually intended, then they are false.
No, how do you... No, that's not the same thing as deception at all.
Did God express he was going to bring down wrath upon the people?
To Moses?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Did God bring down wrath upon the people?
No, he didn't.
So, again, the only options are either he at one point had the desire to bring down wrath, changed his mind, and then no longer brought down that wrath, or he knew all along he was never going to bring down that wrath, so he deceptively expressed to Moses something that he had no intention of following through with. Those are the only possible answers if what God said did not come true.
Well, I mean, those would be the only possible answers within your brain because you're not understanding anything at all.
That's just logical consistency. If he said he was going to...
It's not.
If he said, I am going to do this thing...
Why are you still saying said?
If he
like,
if he did a
Okay.
little dance like a bee and shook his ass back and forth and stirred up some nectar, that he was going to do this
Okay.
particular thing. Did he know that he was not going to do that thing?
Did he know? Who know?
Did God know he was not actually going to do that thing?
Sure.
Then that's deception. To tell someone you are
No,
going to
that's
do
not.
something while knowing you are not actually going to do that thing is deception.
No, that's not.
It is giving a false impression. It is giving false information. If he is saying, I am going to do this thing, while he has the knowledge that he is not going to do that thing, it is deception.
No, it's not. What?
Yes, it is deception to tell someone
There's no extrinsic
false
change. I don't know what
information.
you're saying, bro. I feel like you just.
Isle, this is the most dishonest you've ever been on one of my streams.
Are we serious?
I hope you're not.
Like, I'm trying to maintain seriousness here, but like you're just not tracking. So it's...
Okay, if a person were to say to someone, and I will use say this time because they're actually going to be speaking, so you can't get hung up on that. If a person says to someone, hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store this afternoon, and in their head they're like, no, I'm not going to the grocery store this afternoon. I know for a fact that I'm going to go roller skating this afternoon. I'm not going to come close to a grocery store. Is that person being deceptive?
Repeat. Sorry.
If someone says, if I say to you, hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store this afternoon, but I know with absolute certainty I'm not going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to go roller skating. Is that deceptive?
Is that deceptive?
Yes.
Sure.
Why is it deceptive? Is it because I know that I'm not going to do the thing that I'm claiming to you I'm going to do?
Well, I mean, it depends on your intentions.
Deception depends
Listen,
on
here,
your intentions?
I'll just be concise here because you weren't tracking at all. So God, his intentions, he was being honest. His intentions were to, like you said, burn down the golden calf, whatever. And then he moves over and his intentions, he doesn't do it, right?
So he changed
Is
his
there-
mind.
No, he didn't change his mind. The
If his
change is- again,
intentions
it's
were,
like the cue.
if he had
Bruh.
these intentions and then did not have those intentions later, that is changing his mind.
No, again, the change isn't like it's an atemporal change, like you said. So that's not actually like change. It's the same thing as relational perspective. Look,
If it goes
if you're
from
looking-
one
no, stop
thing
talking
to
for a second.
another.
Listen.
No, because you're saying bullshit. If he has one set of intentions and then has a different set of intentions later, that is a change in the state of his intentions. It must be him changing his mind.
Is that a relational change or a temporal change?
I'm not sure what the distinction would matter.
Well, I mean, you would have known if you actually listened to my cube analogy. Again, you're looking at a different perspective here. If you're looking at one perspective, perspective A, his intentions
Those are
lied
two
within
contradictory things, though.
What, dude? There's
They're
temporal
contradictory
change and atemporal.
intentions. It's not.
So, okay.
It's not red
If-
versus blue. It's I am going to destroy you versus I am not going to destroy you.
Yeah,
he didn't
so
say.
if
He
we're
did not
saying
say
something-
to Moses, "I am possibly going to destroy you." He expressed to
listen.
Moses, "I am
Listen.
going to bring down this wrath."
Listen, if you can an object be two colors at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, but in two different parts, right? In the
Sure.
let's say at spot A, can it be red and blue at the same time?
Can it be red and blue at the same time?
Not purple, just red and blue.
I would say no, but here's the distinction, aisle 8.
Oh, God.
We're talking about a directly contradictory state.
No, we're not.
Something
There's two
something
states. Again,
cannot
it's
be
relational.
something cannot be like red and not red at the same time,
Exactly, yeah.
because that would violate like identity.
Sure. Okay.
So
yeah.
his intentions cannot be I am going to bring wrath down on them and I am not going to bring down wrath on them at the same time.
Well, yes, they can. Again, we're looking at an atemporal
It's
change.
directly contradictory. Atemporal doesn't mean
depends. It's
fucking
literally-
anything in this context,
listen,
aisle 8.
It's literally based on your relational perspective. It's just like where you're looking.
there's no relational perspective. Okay. Whew. I'll 8. This is really disappointing because we've actually had some like kind of
No, I'm
fun
being
conversations in the
completely
past.
honest.
You really aren't, because you're trying so hard to avoid calling it deception that now you've moved to actually it was the same thing the whole time, even though he knew that he only expressed to Moses that he was going to do this thing while he had the knowledge that he was not going to do this thing. That again would make
Yeah,
it
you could say,
deception.
well, again, you could
Either
just
he
say
changed his
relation.
mind or he deceived Moses. There
Well, yeah,
you
again, if we're
cannot
looking
say
at,
it was neither.
yeah, okay, so if we're looking at temporal change, sure. If we're looking at relational change, no. Does that make sense?
No, it's meaningless in this context, and I think you know that.
Okay. Well, no, that's again, wait, okay. Can you restate my cube analogy or no? Can you just like repeat it so I know
Your
you
cube
understand?
analogy is that if there's a cube that is half red and half blue, you view it from one angle, it'll appear to be all red, and from another angle, it'll appear to be all blue. But again, we're talking about something that is
Sure,
directly
so
contradictory. It cannot exist in its state and not its state at the same time.
well, yeah,
So
no,
God
it
cannot
can, but I
have the.
literally just disproved that with my analogy. So how did you apply it to her? How did I apply that analogy to this context? Do you know?
Can it be both a cube and not a cube at the same time?
Can it be both a cube? Depends on your perspective.
So it can be a cube and not a cube at the same time depending on your perspective. So perspective dictates the actual qualities of the object.
Yeah, it can, because if we're looking at a 40 perspective, we can look at let's say at the left you shift to a 40 perspective
That doesn't.
and the right, we're looking at
That
a
has
3D
no
perspective.
bearing on the actual qualities of the object itself.
Yes, it does. What?
The perspective does not change the object itself.
Yes, it does. Oh, like the object itself, objectively speaking?
Right.
Just like, yeah, no, of course not.
Thank you. I'm like, dial.
Yeah, no, I'm not, like, I'm serious. I'm not trying to be disingenuous here. I'm actually trying to derive a
So
point.
perspective does not change the qualities of the object itself. So the quality.
Objectively, sure. Yeah.
So the qualities cannot be contradictory. It cannot be both a cube and not a cube at the same time.
I'd say it depends.
That would just violate. That would violate logic for it to be a cube and not a cube at the same time.
Well, again, no, it doesn't violate logic because we can look at scientific things. What was it called? Relativity? Einstein's relativity. It really just depends on your perspective and how you're looking at it.
What's the law of
So
contradiction?
Law of contradiction, something objectively cannot be, or it's just P and not P. Something can't be nothing.
Right, so if I set P to be this object is a cube, can it be a cube and not a cube at the same time?
Can it be a cube and not a cube? Objectively speaking, no.
So it cannot be contradictory. It cannot exist with contradictory qualities. So the intention to destroy and not destroy cannot coexist.
Yes, it can.
Okay. I don't know how to walk this down any further for you.
Well, I mean, it's, you know what? It's okay. It really just my final talking point. All right. Also, I was trying to be I'm still trying to be respectful here, of course. It really just depends on the perspective at which you're looking at it.
Perspective doesn't change the qualities of the object.
I guess.
It might change how you perceive them. Doesn't change the object itself.
I guess. Well, actually, I guess that's a dead talking point. Before I leave, can you like tell your chat to chill? Look at this dude. This guy said I'm a waste of carbon, bro. Like, what the heck?
Well, it
God,
said
just
Phil Bros. That means you're identifying yourself as a Phil Bro. So just don't
No,
identify
you
yourself as a
called
Phil
me.
Bro.
You called me a glossary, bro, which is your definition
Glossary
of
is
Phil.
funny, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I just
that's-
think, well, no, I wasn't calling you one specifically. I was just referring to them. I say I call, like, the people that some call Phil Bros, I call them glossaries because I think that's, number one, funnier, number two, pisses them off more, and number three, doesn't give them the satisfaction of,
Okay.
like,
Well,
being called
yeah, no,
philosophers.
that's all good. I enjoyed having a conversation with you, but these guys, like this guy saying I'm a waste of nut, bro. Holy, these guys are vile. But yeah, you have a
Okay,
good one.
if you want to, if you want to hear
No,
vile,
that's good, that's good.
you should see the shit that I get sent, dude.
Holy shit, yeah. There's nasty people on both sides. It's all good. You have a good one though. Seriously.
Have a good one. Oh, I did not mean to decline your request. Sorry, I was trying to disconnect that last guest. If you want to request up again. I'm starting to sweat in here, and you can see it. But I feel like if I turn on my fan...
Yep.
Hey, welcome in. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Monk. My age is 20, and my pronouns are he, him.
All right. What religion are you going to try and convert me to?
Oh, Christianity. But I just wanted to kind of speak up on that talking point you guys just had about the cube thing.
Okay.
Yeah, a cube can be a cube and not a cube at the same time. That's not the law of non-contradiction.
How
The law
so?
of non-contradiction is a proposition and negation of the proposition at the same time in the same sense. Two things can be contrary at the same time. That's not a contradiction. Contradiction is when it's at the same time and in the same sense.
Yeah, so if we're talking about the qualities of this object, and we say that this object has the qualities of a cube, but also does not have the qualities of a cube, that would be contradictory.
Well, we could say that the object has the qualities of a cube insofar as X, but doesn't have them insofar as Y, and that's not a contradiction, right? That's just in two different senses, right?
When we're saying it has the qualities of a
Contradiction is when it's in
cube,
the
the
same
implication
sense.
is all of the qualities of a cube. I would not
That's not
consider
true. You're
something
just
to be a
saying that.
cube.
That's
If
completely
something
arbitrary.
if something had only some of the qualities of a cube, but not all of the qualities of a cube, then I would not consider it a cube. One quality of a
No,
cube is being a
you're not
three-dimensional
understanding.
object.
Listen,
Not
something
every
can
three-dimensional
possess.
object is a cube.
You're not tracking. So something can possess every single quality of a cube, right? And possess some that would make it not a cube, but it possesses them in a different sense in which it possesses the qualities that make it a cube.
How
This is
so?
like how natures work. This is how the law of identity works. Yeah, an example would be like in Christian theology, right? It
No,
would
I
be
want
the
I want an
100%
example
cube.
for a cube.
For a cube? What are you talking about?
You're
For a
saying
real
something
cube that
can
exists?
you're saying something can possess all the qualities of a cube and qualities that make it
I got
not
you.
a
I got you.
cube.
So
So I
let's
would
look
like
at
to know.
I got you. I got you. So let's look at let's say there's a cube that has sentience, right? Intelligence. So let's look at this thing on Fortnite called Kevin the Cube, right? There's a cube with intelligence.
Monk, don't waste
So
my time.
I'm giving an example. This is an actual cube. So there's something called
Give me an
Kevin the
example
Cube.
of an object that has all of the qualities of a cube and also has qualities of a non-cube.
Hello? I'm giving one right now. Are you
You're
not?
talking about fucking Fortnite. I don't.
That's an example. Listen. An example. Like, what are you talking about? It's a Fortnite Kevin the Cube. It's not a cube. It has all the necessary qualities of a cube and possesses some that would make it not a cube.
What qualities does it possess that makes it not a cube?
Well, it's intelligible. But it's
Intelligible?
intelligible in a different sense. Yeah. It has,
Do you mean intelligent?
no, it's intelligible.
Can you define how you're using that?
Intelligible means capacity for intelligence.
So why does that's not a non-cube property?
Yeah, so what is a cube?
I would say that a cube is a three-dimensional object with 6 faces, all orthogonal angles, and each edge of the same length.
Exclusively, right?
Sure.
Exactly. So if those are the exclusive properties, then if something has one of those properties, or a property that isn't one of those you listed, then it's not a cube, right? But Kevin the Cube has one of those. So Kevin the Cube isn't a cube insofar as his personhood
Being
and his intelligence, right?
being intelligible is not a disqualifying factor from being a
Yeah,
cube.
if something's intelligent, yeah, I just asked you, are those qualities exclusive? Meaning those things exclusively make you a cube. You said yeah. So
Oh
if
no
there's
no!
anything
What
that
I was saying was the lack of
just got
those
cooked on
things
Kevin
would
the Cube.
exclude you from being a cube. When I say that they're exclusive, what I mean is that if you lack those things, you are excluded from the category of cube.
Yeah, so is Kevin the Cube a cube insofar as his personhood?
Cubes can have plenty of other qualities. A cube can be red, a cube can be blue, it's still a cube.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
I
sure,
say
sure. Real quick,
qualities
though,
of not cube, I mean specifically qualities that could not be held in conjunction with being a cube.
Okay. So you're not paying attention. Look. So is Kevin the Cube a
You're so
cube
fucking
insofar as his
condescending, dude.
person?
I've been
You're not
relatively
answering a question.
respectful
I'm not
to you
being
so far.
condescending. You literally won't. You're not being respectful. Every time I ask a question, you ignore it and just start saying something. So is Kevin the Cube a cube insofar as his personhood? No. His person isn't a cube because it's immaterial, right? But Kevin the Cube physically is a cube.
What?
So he's a cube in one sense and not a cube in a different sense. It's
He
not my
is
fault
a
if you don't understand
cube.
that. Yeah, insofar as his physicality, but not insofar as his intelligence. It's not physical, so it's not a cube. You define a cube as a physical object that has dimensions, right? Spatial. Kevin the Cube's intelligence isn't spatial. It isn't anywhere up, down, left, or right. So Kevin the Cube lacks one of those qualities insofar as his personhood, but gains them insofar as his physicality. So he is a cube and is not a cube at the same time, but in two different senses.
Yeah, so
It's not a
again,
contradiction.
a red cube would have the quality of being red, which is not one of the qualities that I listed necessary for being a cube. It is
Are you
still
kidding
a
me?
cube because red is not a disqualifying trait for being a cube. When we're talking about contradictions, they would have to be
You're not
a
paying attention.
disqualifying. I am paying attention. You're
Why
trying
didn't
to
you
say
just
that
respond to what I said then?
because you're saying absolute bullshit. You're saying because his personhood is intangible,
Yeah,
because he's
so Kevin the
intelligible,
Cube-
therefore he
Kevin the
is not a cube because his personhood
Is-
itself does not
is
have a
Kevin the
cube shape.
Is Kevin the Cube a cube insofar as his personhood? You have to say no because of your definition of cube, right?
But he is a cube. Cube refers to a
Not-
shape.
Listen, pay attention. Pay
The
attention.
label
not
of cube would
insofar
not
as-
apply to non-tangible things. Non-tangible things would not have any shape to them whatsoever. So
Wait,
they
wait,
would.
thank you. Wait, thank you. No, wait, watch this. So you agree that non-tangible things cannot be a cube, right?
His
so in other
shape
words, they're not.
is cube.
Wait. So
Cube
pay
refers
attention.
to a
So-
shape.
So his intelligence, which is non-physical, is not a cube, but his intelligence is a quality of himself. His physical shape is a cube, which is also a quality of himself. So he is both not a cube and a cube at the same time, but in two different senses. That's
No,
not a
he
contradiction. You
is
just got
a
baked.
cube.
But not insofar as his intelligence, right? Because intelligence doesn't have shape. Do you agree?
Intelligence is not a disqualifying factor for being a cube.
What are you talking? No, pay attention. Is his intelligence a cube?
I've been paying attention. You're trying to
But you won't answer any-
differentiate.
You won't answer
You're
any
trying to
questions.
differentiate personhood and saying his personhood is not a cube, therefore he is not a cube. But we're talking about a physical 3D shape. Because the qualities that you're talking about are not disqualifying qualities from being a cube. Possessing those
you're literally
qualities
just-
does not mean that one cannot be a cube. Again, when we're
You're on
presenting
a
a
DVD disc, man. You
contradiction,
just keep
it must
repeating it.
have
Settle down,
both
bud, settle
those
down.
qualifications and also qualifications that would be like exclusionary from that category. So it cannot be a cube if, for instance, it has round sides. Because that
Yeah,
is in
so-
contradiction to the specific traits of a cube.
Like, why do you do this? It's not even responding to anything. You're just repeating something that's not informative. It's not progressive.
Hey,
it doesn't
we
help
can
you
help you
progress.
understand if you didn't
No,
understand.
look,
You can
calm
just
down,
admit
be
you
quiet. I'm
didn't.
talking to someone
Hey,
right now,
hey,
buddy. I'm
calm
done.
down, mouth breather. Calm down.
I'm
We
telling
can
you
just
to
help you
calm down.
understand if you don't get it. That's all.
Hold on,
It's
cuck
that
boy.
easy.
I'm talking. Get on.
Hey, it's that easy. Just calm down.
Yo.
Tell us what you
Cuck
need.
boy.
Speak. Hello.
That's
Can I speak to someone, cuck
interesting.
boy?
You
Get
can
out my
try.
ear. Okay, I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to speak to this woman without you trying to be a cuck.
I-
interrupting.
Oh, not a
I-
woman. Calm
I'm
down. But just keep,
non-binary.
keep
Oh,
talking. Keep
Okay,
talking.
non-binary. I'm gonna try to speak to this non-binary human without you
Quick
interrupting.
question
cuck.
though, Monk.
Try
What
it out.
make Quick question though,
Oh,
Monk.
I
What do you
got you.
think? What do you think
Well, you're
makes
asking me a
rat?
question now.
No, I'm asking you a question. Yeah. What do you think makes rat soup a cuck?
Oh, just the way he spoke to me, I can tell it's cuck vibes. I have high priors indicating me as a cuck in
Cuck
reason.
vibes.
So
Okay.
let me continue my conversation with you.
But this
before
is a
cuck
good
interrupted
rhetorical
us
look for
super
you.
rude.
Do you bring this
So,
to every debate you come
hold
into,
on, I
or
got you.
is it
I wasn't
just
even debating you,
exclusive to
brother.
this?
I wasn't even debating you.
Oh, I know.
You
I know.
randomly
You're
wanted to have
talking to
a
them. I know, but you brought this attitude.
Yeah,
with
thank you for
regardless.
joining the live and
Is
derailing
it the
everything.
way
cuck.
that your
Thank
mother
so much.
raised you,
You
or is this
derailed the
just
whole
how you
conversation,
do
cuck ass
it?
boy?
Hey,
Wait,
it's
did your
okay.
mother
You
raise
can
to be a
calm
cuck?
down. Mouth breather. It's
I'm
okay.
perfectly calm.
Calm
What do you
down.
mean? You're just a cuck.
You're talking real fast for someone who's calm.
That doesn't mean that I'm not calm. What are you talking about?
If
Talking
you say
quick means I'm
so.
calm.
If you say so.
I mean,
All right,
immediately
anyway,
calling
I think
somebody
that- I
a
think,
agree.
Robo,
cuck
I think
is
you had
an
a conversation
interesting
for
move.
this fella.
Yeah, you want to have a conversation? Do you want to steel man her position, which is that something cannot be a cube and not a cube at the same time, or that'll be a
Well, their
contradiction?
position. Yeah. So yeah.
I just said
can
their
still-
position. What are you talking? Are you dumb?
No, you said her position. We can play it back
I
if you
said
want
Lear.
to.
I said Lear.
Yeah, you
you
corrected
can-
yourself, but you
we
did
can-
do you
first
want
say
to? Do you want to
hers.
take their position or not?
Sure, we can. Yeah. So a cube.
I'm gonna go
can
get
be-
some water. Fuck him up, babe. Love you.
We'll see.
Yeah, we're about to go. Please run away because you don't know what you're talking about. Now go
I'm
ahead.
getting
Cuck
some
boy. So
water.
All right,
I'm-
so
said
you
that-
think a cube is not a
so you
cube,
agree with
right?
The proposition.
So you
Well,
think a
No,
cube is
I'm
not a
saying
cube?
that. Hold on. I'm answering
And
your
also, I
question.
want to
I'm answering your
initially point out,
question.
by the way, that
Stop
was an
talking.
example of just like the
Oh
law
my
of
goodness.
non-contradiction and law of identity. Did you catch that part, or not really?
Hold on. Did you catch the part where you asked me a question and before I can answer, you made like 3 points just now? Stop. Calm
Yeah,
down,
it was
brother.
just a
Take a
rhetorical
breath.
device. Just
So you
talking
asked the
because you
question. The
kind of threw a
question you
lot of
asked
bullshit
was,
out
do I
there. So
think
I'm
a
going to throw
cube
some
can
bullshit
be...
back at you so you can swallow it.
Hello? Can I speak? Can I
I don't know.
speak?
Can you?
So
Try.
you just said a cube cannot be a cube, right?
Mm-hmm.
To answer that question,
no.
right? That's not the proposition that was made. The proposition that was made was she said if there's a given
Oh,
referent,
did it
right?
again.
This
Try one more
referent
time.
cannot be a cube and not a cube at the same time. That's the law of non-contradiction, but this simply isn't the case. The law of non-contradiction is that you cannot be the proposition and the negation of the proposition at the same time and in the same sense. She agreed that cubes are shapes and only entail physicality. So let's just say we have a given referent, which is partially physicality, and this is metaphysical parts, not like actual parts. Partially physicality and partially immaterial, right? Any object which is partially immaterial and physicality can be a cube and not a cube. Do you agree?
Check this out. Kevin isn't physical.
Do you agree?
I disagree.
You do agree. Thank you.
I think
this
that
means
when we're...
there
He said
can be
disagree.
something
Elaborate,
which
or do you
is
need
a
to-
cube
He
or
said
not a cube at the
disagree,
same time.
dude.
You disagree. That's a concession.
He said he disagrees. Were you not
well,
listening?
He's trying
Disagree with that
to
proposition?
like build the whole argument for me, which there's a word for
No,
that. I
not.
forget what
So-
is it. It's like making a man out of a material. I forget what it is.
Oh,
But
hold on. I think it's called getting.
anyway.
I think it's called getting baked. Yeah. So
I think it's called
I
making
didn't
a
hear you.
straw
I
man
didn't
and
hear you. I
shadow
don't know if you said
boxing it
agree.
while you keep yapping. And
I know, but you have
yapping,
such
yapping.
low
But let me go
testosterone.
let me
I
know when I
couldn't
have
hear
to
if you
keep
said
talking.
agree or disagree because you're not saying it with your chest. So real
I
quick, though,
said
I'm just gonna ask the
disagree. Do
question
you want me
just
to
for
go into it?
clarification. Do you believe that something can be partially physical and partially non-physical at the same time?
No.
You don't believe that?
No, I don't think that things can have parts like that. No, I think it would have separate things. Anyway,
No,
so
so
I don't
wait,
think a cube
so-
can be a cube and not a cube at the same time.
You don't think that?
Yeah, I don't think a cube can be a cube and not a cube at the same time. Do you?
Yeah, I do, and I
He
just gave the
does.
argument for it, moron.
Yeah, which
Okay,
again,
so
it
let's
was an
just say-
example of the
hold on.
law of
Well-
non-contradiction. So for you to say something can be a cube and not a cube at the same time would be violating just like one of those basic
not
laws of
true.
logic.
That's not true.
But what's interesting is no
am
object
I
would be
getting
able to
spam
have
muted?
any other
I'm not even
because
talking.
you're not shutting the fuck up, monk.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking. Stop muting me.
Then why am I hearing you?
Because I told you to stop muting me, you fat bitch.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. My bad. So you see, he often he does that. He just went into the insults every single time and just kept yapping and yapping and yapping and hoped the amount of words would cover that he was saying nothing at all. So what we're going into with this law, there's also law of identity, which I think is probably a little bit closer to what this would have been. It's, he didn't give an argument for why it could be a cube and not a cube. He gave an argument for why something could have the qualities of a cube and also the qualities of something else and still be considered something else while also being considered a cube. He did not give an argument for the cube. He tried to distract from the outset with it.
And that's why I
So-
was trying to bring up like a cube of being red, and that's where I was gonna go when he kept like talking over me and then decided to like.
Well, I even brought it
throw
up when you went to go
insults
get
out
water.
there.
Your whole point with that was just talking about the laws of identity and law of non-contradiction to begin with. He understood that.
But
He's
by
just being a baby
his
boy.
definition, a cube would not be able to have any other qualities outside of the ones that specifically define it as a cube. Because
Yeah, that's why he was getting like real
having a
slug in the middle of
color
that.
having a color is not necessary for being a cube, therefore it has a property that is not specific to cubes, so it would be not a cube by that definition that he was trying to say. Something having additional qualities does not mean that it is not that thing. It's just
Read more, debate less from that guy.
anyway, how you doing, cuck? They always go to that. It's always great. Hey, babe.
Hey.
You can talk to me here.
Who else? I think you have anyone else coming in?
I do have someone. I was just trying to see what you were up to. How long you wanted to stay.
Just a couple of minutes. I'm probably gonna get going now. I just wanted to stop
that
and say
person dropped
hi.
their
'cause we're being
request, so.
cute and stuff. Oh, okay.
Me cute. Shut up.
But yeah, anyway, I do like the new logo and stuff. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
My little
Jacob,
robot
what's up?
goat.
All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and get going. I love you.
Mwah. A talking cube. Oh God. Yeah, that whole thing. He was literally just arguing against the laws of logic, which is wild. You're in request. You want to come back up after all? Sorry, someone just called my partner gay. I think it's very funny. It's like, okay. He said, "Why are you gay?" Is this show only for evangelicals to call in, or do I take calls from other atheists? I take calls from non-believers on Sundays during my Ask for Ass show. In case you haven't heard, Mezzo has been resuming his Atheist Sunday School show, aka Ass. And so I hang out with him in Sidecar for a little while on Sunday mornings, and then I have my after show stream for Atheist Sunday School, also known as Ass for Ass. So we went from Ram's Ass to Ass for Ass. Woohoo! A lot of ass. A lot of ass. So yeah, call in on Sunday. Maybe I'll have call screeners by then. If you're interested in being a call screener, check out the Linktree. There's an interest form. There's also access to the Discord, which you'll need to be in if you want to be a call screener. I do a monthly raffle for my call screeners, so each time that you work a stream for me is an entry. So if you win, I will crochet something for you from a list of possible options. Right now, there's only one person in the running for this last month, so unless someone joins the next few days, we've got a guaranteed winner. Can anyone just ask a question? You can ask questions in chat if you want to ask a question. Prep first, I guess. Whoa, I missed something in here. Have I read the Bible extensively? I was Christian for like 17 years. I went to religious preschool, elementary school, middle school, and high school. I learned apologetics. I read a lot of Bible. I've read every bit of it, not like page turn one at a time, but I have read the whole thing. Just like a section here, a section there, one book here, one over there, that sort of thing. And it's interesting because I never did one of those like specific Bible in a year devotionals, but those like kind of intentionally break up the scripture for you, so you don't really get the full context of stuff. Potato asks, do I have any tips for coming out as an NB to a homophobic extended family? My number one thing is do what is safe for you. Right? I would love if we lived in a world where we could all immediately come out to family and be safe and accepted. That is not the situation for everyone, unfortunately. So it is important to do what you are safe and comfortable doing, and also to surround yourself with people who do accept you among those that you can choose. Obviously, you can't choose your family. Just do it at a time when you feel safe. Only reveal as much as you feel safe and comfortable revealing. You don't owe it to them. It is something that you are choosing to share with them. That's all I got. Well, my friends, it looks like we are nearing the end of our stream tonight because I am very sleepy and I have work in the morning. So, Whoa. What was playing? Oh, it was someone else's TikTok. Well, Joel's still live, so we're gonna go bother Joel. What are we gonna tell Joel? We're gonna ask Joel. No, I don't want to ask him something specific to me. I want him to wonder what's going on. Let's just ask Joel if he's seen any good movies lately. I think it's something that's like very innocuous, but it'd be very funny if like 20 or 30 people at a time just are suddenly asking him if he's seen any good movies lately. I think that will slightly confuse him. Don't mention my name. Don't do it. Just ask him if he's seen any good movies. Alright, I'll see you guys over on Joel's stream. Bye!